There you go, red light.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that was on the last time.
Okay, as long as you can.
Usually red means off, but.
Yeah, I know, except for the camera. That's when you say, okay, whatever.
Okay. Everybody set, we'll call the meeting in order at 8:04. So Sharon is not here, everybody else on the task force is. She's there. She's going to San Antonio today. She's got family up from Montana that she doesn't get to see a lot, so that's where she's off to.
And I do have to be out at 10:45 today.
Pardon?
I have to leave today. Today's the day I have to leave at
10:45.
10:45.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
let's
what a
get,
shame we have to end that. Oh, dear.
Even early meeting.
After we were all told 12 o'clock today.
well, we said we'd put it to 12 o'clock just in case, and maybe we won't need it. So where we ended up last time, and like I said, we did not, you guys all have access to the working document. So Sharon did a lot of the editing as the meeting was going, but we didn't meet afterwards and line things back up. So it's a little screwy when you look at it, because it'll go 1, 2, and then 2 again, and then 2A and 3, and it's just, that's not fun to do. But I think the wording's all there, so I don't know. So we ended up needing to finish up on the city manager part of it, and just the very last one, the B,
Section B, yeah.
section B, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out where that is. Let's see here. So B is, it's about the salary. It's pretty simple. I don't know why we didn't actually do it. Just says the city manager shall receive such salary as may be fixed by the council before entering upon duty of his or her office. He or she shall take the official oath required by other officers by this charter. And then it's in blue, it says shall execute a bond in favor of the municipality for the faithful performance of his or her duty, and the sum which may be fixed. So we haven't got to the bonding part yet. But there is gonna be a section in here about how the bonding can work, so maybe we should refer whereas provided for in this charter or something on the last part of that, or we can just leave it. We can just leave that sentence, I guess. And I think what we're gonna end up with the bond part of it is that it's gonna be, it's still gonna be required, and I think state-wise, they require officials to be bonded in some cases.
There's an option that is.
To use insurance.
Crime insurance, yeah.
Right, which is what the city does.
I
And
think most municipalities do.
well, it's so much cheaper than doing that, so somehow or another, we've got to incorporate that in here, that the option to use crime insurance is in there, but we can probably do that in the bond section of it, too.
Yeah, and I think then we can refer to the bonding section.
Yeah,
Instead of writing it out loud unless you want it.
yeah. Dennis,
Yes,
so you guys have pretty much just been using the VLCT, the crime insurance, directors and officers coverage and stuff?
yes.
All right, okay.
They had nothing for a while until there was the whole drama about should the city manager be bonded or not. And you probably remember how that got raised.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Then it became, then of course it moved to the next step, which was we bond everybody.
Yeah,
But I think it was only Public Works and the city manager that, according to whatever legislation we were using then, were supposed to be bonded, but somehow the city manager had never been bonded. There was some really crazy stuff around it.
But, so I read some of the stuff online, and they said
Yeah.
you can use, for the bonding that's
Yeah.
required by the state, you can use crime insurance or directors and officers coverage in lieu of the bond.
Yeah.
And the city,
Initially, that was rejected, and something to do again by the person who brought it up in high drama at the
Yeah.
beginning. Because she said that didn't cover what was necessary. And honestly, I don't remember all of that argument
Yeah.
because it was.
I kinda do, I looked it
Yeah.
up and I disagreed with that in the end, because
Yeah,
being in the insurance business, that's kind of what we do. They had both crime and directors and officers coverage,
yes.
and it's pretty substantial in our policy, so. They were kinda hung up on the bond thing, and the state thing was the state requires a bond. Well, the state does require a bond, but they also say in lieu of the bond,
Right.
municipalities may use insurance coverage for it.
One of the
So
concerns.
I think that's kind of where we're gonna
But one
go.
of the concerns was that the insurance was only going to be effective if you could prove that there were crime. And how did that then handle incompetence?
Yeah. Well, the DNO covers that too.
So that so much of what appears to have happened has been incompetence,
Yeah,
not criminal.
yeah.
So how, if at all possible, does that get covered?
Well,
Other places must have had to deal with that, Mike.
If I remember right, the VLCT weighed in because passive was, the city uses passive.
Yep,
So I think the VLCT weighed in and said that the city's covered and officers are covered, no matter if it's
The screw ups.
criminal or, yeah, but,
you had that situation, and
yeah, that was more, that was criminal.
Yeah,
that's what she's talking about.
But it was,
But it was
Right.
no,
covered,
no, yeah, but she, no, I think.
but it wasn't,
but it wasn't covered by.
Yeah, it was.
It was,
Yeah.
that's,
but was it actually proved as criminal?
They accepted the evidence that we had gathered. It
Okay.
never went through the court system,
But the insurance company was willing to accept that?
and they
Okay,
covered it, yeah.
cool.
so in the bond section, which is 32, which we're gonna have to deal with, I'm gonna check on that.
Do we want to, what do we want to do in terms of?
On this one
Are we
here,
gonna change the language to say that it can be covered by insurance?
I don't know, do we do that, or do we put? We have, section 32 is bond of city officials.
Would you like me to touch base with VLCT
Sure,
and just ask them
yep,
first, you know, the coverages in general, and then, how, maybe how to write that language in there? I'm sure they have a template that helps municipalities.
sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Can you
So-
give me that acronym again?
Vermont League of Cities and Towns.
VLCT. I'm gonna mark that, because we're not there yet.
Okay.
So, so for this section, we just have to decide if this language is good enough, or if we, shall execute a bond in favor of the municipality for the faithful performance of his or her duties. And just put a section there,
You could leave it out there and just list in the bond section all the people that needed to be
Yeah.
bonded or have the insurance,
yeah.
and make it all come from the bond section.
I like that idea. Because if you have a section that deals with bonds of all city officers anyway, then.
Yeah, it's 32.
Yeah,
And then we
so,
can strike it out everywhere else.
yeah. so I'll just strike it out for now. And
So-
then I put a note here that Mike's gonna look into it further for us.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
And you're thinking about rewriting 32 in its entirety?
Um,
I just asked because
Well,
the last
I'm really-
part about giving notice and such, if
Yeah.
we're gonna have the option for insurance, we may want to clarify that you can't, I don't think that we should anyway, ask a bond of someone who's already covered by the insurance, and if we leave it in there.
Yeah.
I think you wanna leave a bond.
Yeah.
You want some
Okay.
type of language for a bond in there, because
in case they
you
can't-
may have an officer that's elected that may not be able to get insurance because of something they've done in the past, and then you would require them to go out and get their bond, and they may not be able to be bonded, then if they're elected, you could remove them from office, because
So I think you're gonna have to reference both. So, yeah, I think we're gonna have to, rewrite that section.
Why don't you just say bond and/or crime insurance, or bond as per bond, this bond section?
Yeah.
And just reference, just leave this,
You
but
mean in
say,
the city manager part of it? or-
city manager executed a bond as per section, leave the,
32, yeah.
Yeah.
Except we're not sure it's gonna be section 32. by the
well,
time we get done.
whatever, but, you know, bond section. And
Yeah,
then don't worry about the rest of the language.
we could put shall execute a bond or insurance in favor of a municipality for the faithful performance of their duties. Such may be fixed by the council, subject to,
Section whatever.
we can put section 32 in here now. It may end up being something else, but we're gonna go back through all this anyways. But we're subject to bond requirements in this charter. Then if we change it, it's not, and miss it, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Trying to find the,
I was looking in the proposal that was voted down to see if they had a piece in there on bonding. I don't see it in the,
officers and employees bonds, yeah, but it's right here. You want me to read it? It's not
what
that hard.
section is it, Charlie?
702. All officers whose bonds are required by law. Yeah, so it covers all of it. That's actually not bad. You guys have that? That's not a bad way to write it up, kind of covers everything.
Where is that?
702 of the
Proposal.
Or the new one?
failed proposal. I'm just doing that to.
Sorry.
Huh?
All right, hit the microphone.
What do you think, Dennis?
Yeah, I think that 702 isn't bad, because it does, like you mentioned earlier, it does reference that you can purchase crime insurance either in addition
Right,
or in lieu of.
in lieu of, yeah,
Yeah, and that's a good statement to add in.
yeah. You got it? Everybody find it? I've got it right here.
Yeah, 'cause when I talked with VLCT last time, they might have gotten that language from VLCT.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put a note under section 32
They did.
They did.
to use 702. When we get there, so that'll be,
There's something to clarify about the school board too, and I'm not sort of seeing it here, but I think there's something about the city having some responsibility for.
yeah, that's section 39, we haven't got to that yet.
Okay, but it comes into bonding,
Huh?
it's in bonding, it should be in bonding.
Probably off there, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I live on.
You're getting ahead of us, that's all.
Well,
But
duh.
the failed proposal,
Mhm.
that's what we're calling it,
Yes.
was they took out anything related to the school. So we're not gonna do that. So there's a section 39 here, we have not addressed it yet.
Okay.
But that's gonna be in there, so. And it does say the school, just so you know, at the end, it says the school trustees shall give such bond to the city at the expense of the city, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And that line will probably more than likely stay in there, so.
But if it's not in the quote failed charter,
It's not,
then we better pay attention to whether it should be.
yeah, well, in my notes,
You got it.
when we get to it, it's gonna be, and Sharon's pretty
Oh, I'm
firm.
sure she is.
She's pretty firm on that too, so.
That she is.
So we're not gonna miss it. So. So what do you guys think on the part B, at least, if we can wrap that up?
What I have, based on our discussion so far, is, the city manager shall receive such salary as may be fixed by the council before entering upon the duties of his or her office. He or she shall take, we'll change that, but he or she shall take the official oath required of other officers by this charter, and shall execute a bond or insurance in favor of the municipality, subject to bond requirements laid out in this charter for the faithful performance of his or her duties, and such a sum as may be fixed by the council.
I like that. I like that. That work for you?
Yeah, except for the he or she, I think
Yeah.
it's just replace that with
With whatever we decide,
city
whatever,
manager.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll replace it right now. I'm sure it doesn't have to clean it up.
We should create a new term for all of them. But just putting in city manager will cover that. Everybody good with that statement? Sounds pretty good to me. Okay.
Well, if you're gonna correct that, the his or her office should be the office.
Huh?
Because
If you're
you're
gonna
talking
correct
about
the he and she, then you should just make it the office right before that, instead of his or her office in the first sentence.
Just get rid of his or her office. You don't even need it, right? Yeah.
So I was saying.
Before entering upon the duties of city manager,
Or that, yeah.
right?
Well,
I don't know what I
but
picked
it's
up.
more than a. city
Something was
manager.
on this table. Then we must have been eating chocolate or something.
Uh-oh.
So what is all this sticky stuff?
You can also just delete the he and she and just have it be shall, because it's in a list. It doesn't even need the pronouns here.
Okay. You got all that? You're good on that? So, moving past that section of it. So we've got city council done, city manager part done. And then on the agenda, it said we were gonna go finish city manager and the part B, which we just did, and then it said city clerk, city treasurer. And then we had talked about going back to 14 and going along there, so, I didn't realize that till I printed it out this morning, so. Does anybody, you guys care which way we go with that? Just so you know, I did on the city clerk and treasurer. sent it to Sharon, but I don't think she posted it on the drive, to drafts for, which at some point I'm gonna be able to find, I think. One for city clerk and one for city treasurer, so. The one that we have, yeah, do we want to get right into that? Because that is 13. You guys good with that, Danny? Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get some smudge chocolate on it too. So somebody was snacking here. I wonder if we could have copies of these. Did you do anything on city clerk treasurer stuff?
What did I do?
Anything?
Mhm.
Anybody? Okay. So what I basically did was go in, I wonder if we can make copies of this.
I'm the closest to the door, so.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So for your committee only,
Thank you.
for us, 4 of them. Hopefully carry it in.
So I guess we're at the point again, officially, when we get to 13, is that we're gonna change this to an appointed position instead of elected. That's what we've all pretty much decided. So, in the current, there we go, I gotta figure out, I got too many pieces of paper here. In the current one, it's, I think you gotta replace the whole thing, I don't know. It basically, it doesn't really spell out, it spells out some of the duties, but it's pretty, it's pretty limited. It just says same duties devolving, I don't like that word too much, by law upon town clerks, except so far as needed are rendered unnecessary by this charter, blah, 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 blah. So it's just a lot of, so it says duties with records, copies, certificates, it's not too, it doesn't really define it all a lot. You got the chocolate thing?
Yeah,
That's the most important part.
That's the, there's a single side one, that's yours.
Okay.
And then I seem to have made, I couldn't count, I looked to do and said 4. So,
You didn't copy anything of the peasants?
no. I didn't know whether we should copy for the peasants.
It doesn't matter to me, it'd be a couple more, you know, but,
Traditionally, when you guys.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know, okay.
So you need one for you, Jennifer, and 2 others, right?
Yeah, I can count now, Charlie.
Well, it's early in the morning, you know. So basically what I did with this is I went on to state statutes because clerk and treasurer are governed by state law and what they have to do and what they can do and what their duties are, pretty much.
That's in the absence of a charter. The state law tells us what can be done.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't start off anywhere saying the city clerk shall be appointed, but we've dealt with that already, I think,
I think so.
through 4 or something along the lines. That we've included city clerk treasurer as appointments. this doesn't either. Our regular charter doesn't either. It deals with it somewhere down the road, but nowhere does it say it's elected in the description. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know which side's which, so.
So it basically just went on, and the first part says Vermont city clerks are governed by Vermont statutes, which outline their duties, record keeping and public records responsibilities. Core responsibilities include, and I just listed a bunch of their responsibilities.
So you,
Huh?
could you repeat the Vermont statute?
Without putting in VSA, I took out all reference to the actual statute and the so it's just saying what the responsibilities are. And some towns, they're more, they're different than others, but for the most part, they're the same. So I look down through it at what our clerk does, like city meetings, recordings, gotta keep the minutes, vital records and all that kind of stuff, which is what they do. So and there may be a one-liner at the bottom of this. Yeah, I probably should have put it on the document. I thought maybe she did that, but I don't know how to do it.
I can do it.
Don't want to learn.
What do they call that? Weaponized incompetence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
the more you know, the more they ask
it's
for.
true, it's true.
So Charlie, are you just saying that instead of 13, it would
Yeah.
say that the city clerk will have the following responsibilities,
Yeah.
A through G or whatever it is?
Yeah, I didn't number them.
No, but I mean, you're not going to put in the language about the Vermont city clerks are governed by Vermont statutes, are you?
Well, they are.
No, I just meant, but when you're writing up section 13,
Oh, I don't know. I had thought probably we would, but we don't have to. This was for discussion. This was not.
I don't think you want us to cross, I don't know, but I think Mike's kind of laid out that we don't want to, that we can spell it out, if it's the same as Vermont statute, we can spell that out, but we shouldn't cross-reference statute. So I think that we don't need that first part, but do we want to put, city
Which
clerk,
first part do you mean?
just the part that says governed by Vermont.
First sentence?
statute?
Okay.
Lori, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, just, I'm just thinking, if what we're looking for is an appointment, like the city manager, because the town clerk section in Title 24, Chapter 35 is very extensive, and the current charter says for town clerks, it's all of those duties unless our charter says they don't have to do them. I think that's how I read that section, that current section in our charter. But like anybody that is going to be appointed, hired and appointed and not elected, you're going to have a job description. And so the question I would have is, do you want that full job description in the charter, or do you want something kind of blanket that says, something about the job description? Does it need to get into the nuts and bolts? That's all I'm suggesting. Because it is covered by Title 24-35, Chapter 35 for town clerks.
Yeah,
So-
the city needs a policy and procedure type manual in place to hold these appointed positions accountable to a job description, but I read section 13, and I kind of feel like if we just, the point here is to make sure that they're no longer an elected official, but are appointed, so we don't get someone who isn't qualified. So I think at the beginning of where it lays out who's appointed and who's elected, I think we change it there. I don't think you would need to do anything to this paragraph at all. I think you could leave it as is. Treasurer may take a little more work, but it's really basic, and it can lean on a very detailed description like this. Are we gonna have this for all, for?
I don't know. I just put that
Yeah.
out for that, these are the duties that our clerks are doing now.
Right.
And if you, yeah, I don't know.
Because if, you never know what's coming around the corner as far as new technology or whatever, and I think to myself, if we didn't even envision that such a thing could exist, and next year it's part of the clerk's duties to use this, whatever it is, do this thing, perform this job duty that we couldn't even fathom, do we have to go and update the charter again?
Well, and I think that was Lori's point, that a lot of this just falls under more like job description and personnel policy than it does like what should be in the charter. So I don't know, I don't think that there's anything especially egregious in the language that we have now for it. I think that it's not a super strong clause, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was pretty weak, actually. So, and I don't know if I agree with any of the first sentence, the way they've got it written.
So
City clerk shall perform for the city the same duties devolving by law upon town clerks.
But isn't that just saying that it's governed by state statute unless the charter says otherwise?
Actually, from what I understand, doing some research, that if I asked about this in multiple places, it keeps coming back and saying they have the same duties as a town clerk, but it doesn't define what a town clerk is.
Yeah.
It's because cities were a new thing in Vermont when the charter was written, and it was like their shorthand saying they're gonna do everything they did before that's set forth in the town clerk position, but now it's gonna be for a city. I don't know what the distinction, he couldn't tell me like what is the benefit of being a city over a town, if there's a difference, but that's where it comes from. I think it's just clunkiness from its history and when it was drafted. But I
That's
do-
why if you look at what I did, it
Yeah.
doesn't say anything about towns, because we're not one.
Yeah.
So,
what other duties or charges do you want to give the town clerk that's outside of state statute? I think that's what.
well, first, so this is my thought,
They
because one thing I didn't want to do, in my mind, in this charter, is have people read it and then have to go to the state statutes to figure out what it means. That's why I was a little more inclusive of what those duties are versus just saying go to state statutes. You can put a point in here or any other duties, blah, 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 to cover yourself, but that you're not limited here. But this doesn't say duties, it says core responsibilities. And I put it that way because,
I think what you can stay at a minimum.
yeah.
If you want this.
Yeah, but, so this one, for instance, this one here doesn't, our current charter doesn't say anything that they have to run the town, that they have to count the votes. Doesn't say they have to be a member of the Civil Board of Authority, and they are in charge of it. It doesn't say anything about administrating oaths.
It does say what makes up the Board of Civil Authority, and I think the clerk is on that list.
Where's this?
Previously in the, let me look back.
In this section 13 it does?
No.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's in a previous section. section 12, Board of Civil Authority and Board of Abatement. I think it says, yeah, the city council, city clerk, and justices of the peace. It does define it when it defines it.
It says that they're on it.
Yeah,
They serve as the clerk of the Board of Civil Authority is a little different than what it says in the simple Board of Authority, in what I wrote. That's the only difference.
In the,
Because the Civil Board of Authority part does not say the clerk will be the,
yeah, it just says that the Civil Board of Authority part says the city council, city clerk, or the justices of the peace residing in the city shall constitute the Board of Civil Authority for the city.
that's all it says.
Yeah.
So this one makes them the clerk of the board, so, I mean, who runs the board. So in other words, when you're looking through the charter, whose authority is it to make sure that the Board of Civil Authority is doing their job?
City clerk,
The city clerk, and if you put that in, that they are the clerk of the board, that gives them that.
and he does that.
I know he does, he does, but it doesn't say it anywhere.
maybe the first sentence should be the city council and justices of the peace shall constitute the Board of Civil Authority chaired by the city clerk.
So you're going back to the other one?
Well, I mean,
I don't,
if we state it here, we still have to go back and fix it in 12.
go ahead.
I have a question, which is overall, if you take the charter and reference every single thing that's currently in state statute for the job description, as you go forward, that statute might change.
Mhm.
So I think the catch-all that you really want is to refer to the state statute, because people are going to have to go back and forth potentially. But just, I think Mike is wrong in what he's saying. I think saying that a position such as the clerk shall have all the powers and duties of a town clerk is certainly the way to go, except as in otherwise provided in this charter. So you can make the exceptions, but you don't try to do every single point of the job description. Because you'll be at this for hours trying to get all the nitty-gritty. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think this is, state statute could change any of the positions in the city.
But that may be a problem as well, because it may be that when state statute changes, you don't want that extra job assigned to the city clerk. So if you put in that it's going to be allowed to change as state statute changes, you're not going to have a city clerk as you defined him to begin with, or her.
But what if you forget something in the powers? Difficult conundrum.
I just think the clerk's offices, there's no problems to speak of. Things are running as they should. People are getting their documents, things are being recorded. I don't think we're trying to change the job description. Like Charlie said, all this stuff is what we're doing already. This is what they're doing here at the city. And they're
Well,
doing.
we do, I don't want to interrupt you, we do a lot more than what 14A says. That's in the city right now.
14A,
Yeah. Which is what we're
13.
trying to.
We're on 13 though, right?
Sorry, yeah.
Why don't you go back to what Travis said and think about the policy, having an administrative policy that sets forth, what the expectation of the city clerk is. Then we're not going back to state statute. It's in the policy handbook for the city. That may be a way to solve all the issues that we're talking about. Because I just see it being really redundant to put it in the charter. But I also understand we don't want to live directly by what state statute is, because at any moment something could change. So that's just a suggestion.
Well, and I'm having a second thought, but this is a law ostensibly, and it's voted on by the citizens that, abide by this law. And if we if we put everything in a policy and procedure, the citizens don't really get to vote on that.
Right.
So if we say, hey, you're bound by the same duties that a town clerk is, and you have to, you know, perform your job satisfactorily based on your job description, but that job description isn't in front of the voters at any point, is that okay? I don't know.
It should be fine, because we're not, I don't know that voters should actually approve job descriptions.
Yeah.
That's you know, it's like at a company, you don't, I don't know, that's just my opinion. The city needs to develop job
my-
descriptions
my-
for,
Yeah, so let me
Go
just,
ahead.
let me just ask everybody. So we could put, from what you guys are saying, we could put a line in here that says, under city clerk, and say, the city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and follow the rules of Vermont state statutes, period. And then, when Jennifer Hopkins is trying to figure out what the charter says about the city clerk, it's one line, you have to now go and look up and see what the hell state statutes are. So, I
Not necessarily, I
personally
think,
don't like that, but
But
you know,
not
that's what we're
necessarily.
talking
I
about.
think what Lori was saying is that that will be outlined in the city's job descriptions. That, are those posted online, or is it, do
No.
the citizens have the ability to see what job descriptions are?
no,
The ordinances aren't even,
What about,
yeah, the ordinance aren't even online.
what about consolidating this down into maybe, not A through I, whatever, but into 3 or 4 just more general descriptions of what the city clerk does?
I was thinking about that also, like the management of public records, or just management and access to public records, land use and property records. You can make these first words basically just a list, and then it sticks with the format in the existing language as well, because that's the other thing. I don't think that we want it to look incredibly disjointed. You have one style of writing going through, then all of a sudden you've got bullet points, and then you're back to just paragraphs, you know what I mean? But I think that, yeah, I think that we can take all of this and just do a list, and not get into the minutia, you know, of all of that.
No matter what you do, one thing I strongly suggest that is in here, I think Charlie, you captured some of that, but is making sure that all city records remain in the city law, or in the
Secure.
secured within the city.
Yep.
I don't know if statute's been changed, but I know the issue that we had was that the town clerk was removing, because they had custody of the records. There was nothing in statute that said that those records had to be maintained on the town premises, and things came up missing.
Well, that's already in the old one, the old.
Exactly, but that's what you wanna keep that.
Right.
Yes.
They're maintained on city property,
Right.
so that they can't be removed and taken home and stored elsewhere, right? Unless the court orders.
And that's something that has happened in this city, where a whole host of emails were parked in somebody else's server and taken off the cities.
Okay, what if we do this? What if we just, because it's not, that the original clause is not very long. Why don't we just go through it line by line, figure out what we want to strike and what we want to keep, and then we can add what we think needs to be added from Charlie's list as, you know, after we kind of go through there, because I think we do want to keep the part about, like Mike said, that the record shall not be taken out of the clerk's office. I don't think all of this is bad language.
I
So,
would agree with that.
what's that?
I would agree with that.
Okay. So, first sentence, the city clerk shall perform for the city, now this is the one that Charlie doesn't like. The same duties devolving by law upon town clerks except so far as the same are rendered unnecessary by this charter, and shall receive the same fees thereof, or shall receive such compensation from the city for his or her services as the city council shall allow. Do we like any of that? Or do we want to strike the whole thing?
I think this is where you say that the city clerk will be appointed.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
going to,
we probably should start with that, which I did not do.
okay,
Yeah,
let me strike through this.
it should probably be the first line, right? City clerk shall be appointed.
The city clerk shall be appointed by the city council.
Yep.
And then you could just do and perform and just go on from there if you wanted.
And shall perform.
I just don't like anything saying it's the same as the town clerks, because when I read it, I don't know what the town clerk's responsibilities are either, so.
So, and shall perform the following duties. And then you could list them.
Like, shall receive the same fees thereof, I don't even know what that means.
They used to get a certain amount of money
Percentage
per,
of tax.
Yeah, but they don't anymore,
per,
the clerk.
yeah, I don't know if they get a certain amount of, like 5 cents for doing a certain
It
service.
used to be, or they do receive monies for recordings. I know the town clerks do, I don't know how the city is structured that way.
The city, when they went to a salary for the clerk treasurer, all fees get assigned to the city, and they, that office gets a salary
part of
as
it.
opposed to the fees.
This is saying that the city clerk shall receive the same fees thereof.
They're receiving, but they are not allowing them to keep.
Keep them.
They only receive, they don't keep. They
So
don't pocket.
can we strike that out then?
You should have that they have the same fees, so that makes it easier. Any town clerk is, $5 a page or whatever, assigned by statute. I think one of the things, just to point this out, with the bonding of the city, for when we went out, everybody complained that because of our charter, it's so convoluted, we have to get attorneys. If you don't follow state statute, you're gonna have the same problem here. When somebody goes to land records, what are we charging compared to some other town? Because in statute, it's clear to everybody.
If you want to include some of the things that are in statute, then you just use the word including, because it's non-exhaustive when you
Yeah.
put in including, so you're just stating some of the things, but there's other things that you also have to follow as well that you're not putting in on.
That's why I wrote core responsibilities include, doesn't mean are. But it doesn't have to be worded that way either, I just.
So what if we said the city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and shall perform duties including, and then we just list out whatever we think that they should be doing, including receiving fees, if that's something that we feel strongly should be in there.
Well, I don't think the city clerk shall receive the same fees thereof. I think that was put in because they got paid
Right.
by fees.
Well,
So
this is
so
giving you
it
two
certainly ought to
different
be
ways of
redefined
compensation.
if it's gonna keep it in.
But the way this is reading is there's two options. You can either receive the same fees, or you shall receive compensation from the city.
Dennis,
It's
did you
not-
have something to say?
Yeah, there's a lot there. You can possibly list some of the duties taken from this paragraph, and then instead of going down an entire litany of chores, which you would probably want to have in your job description, you could put something like, and as other duties or responsibilities shall arise according to, and then you can cite either your city or your state statutes. Same thing with where you were talking about city fees, that they would be collecting. A lot of those are set by the state, like, birth certificates, copies of birth certificates and other records, $10. And that's gonna change as time goes on, so you might wanna reference again, as set forth by state statutes or something like that. Just a thought.
Isn't, so what I wrote under this public records management kind of covers that or not? Because who makes the Vermont Public Records Act?
Becerra
Huh?
sets the fees.
Yeah.
Fees would be set by the legislature.
It says they must index record and provide certified copies as required by law. Does the law include the fees? No, I guess.
The fees would be, those will change from time to time, but there's, the fees would be set by the legislature.
Or required by law.
Well, that's, what the legislature
That's the
sets the fees,
legislature's,
then
yeah.
it's become, it goes into a bill and then it's passed, and I mean, instead of saying it's in 13, saying receive, you charge the same fees.
But you're going back up to the same duties devolving by, I
Well,
hate to.
forget about devolving, but.
By law upon town clerks, except so far as the same are rendered unnecessary by this charter. Or shall receive the same fees thereof. I mean, I just don't like the way that's written.
Well, I put a period after charter instead.
Yeah.
Strike the end and put the city court shall charge the same fees, I think is required by law, and period there, and then you start talking about compensation.
So if the city clerk shall perform this, for the city, the same duties devolving by law upon town clerks, isn't that the same as Vermont city clerks are governed by Vermont state statutes which outline their duties? I was just trying to clean it up because this sounds like,
Well, I think instead of devolving, just put as provided by law.
and that law would be state statutes. So,
Yeah, it's provided by law on town clerks.
So when you guys make a law down there, do you just make a law for towns and not cities?
No, towns, the laws now are
For,
would be for all.
Why not in the charter, if you're not gonna change everything? It says, under clerk, treasurer, and constables shall have the same powers and this be subject to the same liabilities as prescribed by law.
where are you seeing that?
That's under city treasurer, the constable has the same thing. Except it says in liabilities as are prescribed by law for constables of towns. So if you just get an introductory thing for everybody
Yeah,
that is the same, and then go, the clerk treasurer shall be appointed, and then go into your specific items that you want to list.
yeah, I think you just scratch the upon, same as town clerks or town treasurers or
Yeah.
town whatever.
Because
You just say that's provided by law, period.
isn't it true that municipal statute is the overriding thing? If we have an exception in the city or in a town, then as long as it's not lesser, it is allowed. Therefore, no matter what, we are governed by statute. So we're, up Schitt's Creek if they do something weird down there, but so is every other municipality.
I shortened this down if we wanna take a listen to this one, I guess follow that up.
Sure.
The clerk must record all proceedings of city meetings and manage all public records and provide access to said records. That's it, and that would include the land and property records. And then for the second half, starting with election and tax duties, just the second sentence, the clerk will also maintain city, or manage city elections, chair the board of civil authority, administer oaths, and ensure city compliance with all applicable, I guess, state statutes or,
You could just say it's provided by law.
yeah. And that just takes the headers of what's here and boils them down.
Yeah,
Qualify city meetings to city council meetings,
Sure.
because they aren't doing Board of Civil Authority, they aren't recording those.
Are they not?
No, well, whatever, like zoning and planning, those are done by zoning and planning.
Yeah.
Wrong example, sorry.
Okay, so I'm still not clear on fee, like if we decided to leave the part about fees in, and if we decided to leave the part about the clerk, being the clerk of the city council in. Are we just crossing all of that out, or are we saving that and then adding this to it? So as of right now, what I've got is, we changed the first line to say the city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and shall perform the duties of city clerks as provided by law. The city clerk shall receive the same fees thereof, or shall receive such compensation from the city for his or her. Do we want to leave that? Or do we want to strike that?
I would strike,
Because if they're performing the duties provided by law, and the law requires them to collect fees, they'll do that.
did you put receive or charge?
That's just what's there, is received. But I haven't changed that at all, but I can strike it out, I can leave it there. I think it's covered by the first sentence, but if we're saying that they shall perform the duties of city clerks as provided by law, and the law covers fees, then I don't think we need to even have that in there.
But you could include, you could say after, you could fill in what Travis has just said, including, is to perform the following
Oh,
as approved by, or as something by
She's
law,
trying to get the
including
first sentence.
all of
I
Travis's.
plan on including his, but I want to get through what's already there and find out what we're striking out and what we're leaving in, because I'm assuming then we're going to include his either at the end of the clause or just where it makes sense within the clause.
But I think state statute authorizes clerks to retain a certain amount of fees. So if you don't put a clause in here that says something to the effect that the city clerk shall not retain any of the fees.
Do we want to say that? The city clerk shall not retain any of the fees? The city clerk shall not retain any fees for services rendered? I mean, I don't know what, for services of that office, for duties of that office, for performing the responsibilities of that office?
Except the fees
You wanna-
are actually paid for time spent, so.
Well, I mean, you want the
Yeah.
fees coming in to the city coffers.
Right.
You're not, the city clerk is not going to retain the fees
Okay,
as compensation.
Right, not
can
personal
we just say receive
compensation.
them on behalf of the city of Newport?
or shall receive but not retain?
Or shall collect the fees
Yeah,
as per,
Yeah,
Or use
for
the
the,
census.
for the city's benefit.
because you are making some changes, I think, to how the city operates outside of state statute.
right.
So.
A lot of small towns, the clerk's a part-time job and they get paid according to their fees.
Yeah.
which is why this is in here, but that doesn't apply to the city of Newport.
Yeah.
But it was changed to or, so you're covered. They receive fees or salary.
But you could put shall collect,
Yeah, shall receive the same fees therefore, or shall receive such compensation from the city.
As the
So
city
they-
council
Yeah,
shall provide instead. I mean, the city council can decide whether or not they get paid by fees or they get paid by compensation.
mhm.
So we just want to leave that.
Seems to have worked.
But I think you clean it up.
Yeah.
I think you can say shall charge the same fees as provided by law,
Okay.
period.
I was gonna say, it
And
needs to come out of that sentence.
then the city clerk shall receive such compensation as provided by the city council or something, however we worded it.
yeah,
for-
as the city council shall allow, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever way it's worded for the city manager.
But I think
I
that,
mean, if we're trying to keep parts of the old document, then we gotta strike and redo, and that's the way we gotta do it. It's gonna be a messy thing to look at.
Okay, the
That's
city
okay.
clerk shall, just say it for me, just say whatever you want, I'll type it in, but whatever you guys decide on, I'm typing now.
Mike,
The city clerk shall charge the same fees as provided by law, period.
Charge the same fees as provided. Okay, I'm gonna strike therefore, and I'm gonna strike receive then, and add those.
period.
Yep.
And then they shall receive.
Then, well, I think you want the city clerk shall receive
Okay. Yep, city clerk.
whatever we.
Law, period.
Such compensation from the city for their services. I mean, I don't know how you're replacing his and her. As a city council.
I'm just replacing it with the title of the position.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's what we're gonna ultimately land on, but that's what I've been doing. The city clerk shall charge the same fees as provided by law, period. The city clerk shall receive such compensation from the city,
As the city council
shall allow.
shall allow. Yeah, and you could just strike that. That works. Do we want to mention their duty as clerk of the council and having to do minutes? Because that's in the charter.
I think you want that in there.
Yeah.
If it's not,
Yeah.
without it in there, then
Yeah.
What is it? What? Say that again?
Well, it's already in there.
What?
So, the city clerk, instead of he or she shall be the clerk
Of the city council?
of the city council and shall keep a record of their proceedings.
And then do we want to add that same sentence but for the Board of Civil Authority? So we want to say the city clerk should be the clerk of city council. I mean, we could just put and the Board of Civil Authority in there.
Well, their job with the Board of Civil Authority is a little more than just keeping minutes.
Okay, so
Their
then,
job is the clerk of they're the head of the city council.
well,
I mean, they're the ones that call the meetings, they're the ones that organize it.
being the clerk is different than,
Yeah.
if you're just stating that they're the clerk, then all they're
No.
doing is taking the minutes. But if you, that's in the Board of Civil Authority, if you want them to be part of the Board of Civil Authority. But we're not there yet anyway, so
okay,
I don't think you want to include it here.
okay. The city clerk shall be clerk of the city council and shall keep a record of their proceedings. That one's good. Okay. the city clerk shall be sworn to the faithful performance of his or her duties, well, of their duties and their records, copies, certificates shall be legal evidence. Are we?
Well, I think you could put of their duties, comma, records, comma, copies, comma, certificates shall be legal evidence.
Wait, what?
Just after their duties, just strike the and his or her,
Yeah, just put
put a comma,
duties,
Oh,
records.
sure, yeah, yeah.
records, copies, and certificates.
I don't think in that sentence you need the same as those of town clerks.
No.
Yeah, I tried to strike all that because I'm not sure I understand that sentence. Copies and certificates shall be legal evidence in all courts and for all purposes. What does that exactly mean?
It's admissible if it's treated as true.
But you don't need the same as those of town clerks. Or do you?
Again, when this was written, cities were new, and there's no definition of it. It's just town clerks and VSA had a definition of what they did. You could go back and look at it. I hadn't gone back and looked at it, but that was my understanding.
I don't think they're using that language anymore when they're updating. I don't believe, did you see it in any of the?
Nope.
And that may have been updated in the statutes.
I mean, what I wrote is basically what I saw that was, as it pertained to the city of Newport. There was stuff in there that didn't pertain to the city of Newport. So I kind of changed stuff around. It's hard keeping the old document with the old language and trying to plug stuff in, but. if
But I
that-
do think that
That's
it
the way
makes
we're
it
going,
more
that's okay.
digestible for voters. I do think it makes it clear though. I
When they
mean,
read it,
yeah,
probably.
and I think that if we're gonna do the work on our end, we want them to be able to see the work that we've done. So so I struck the same as those of town clerks. So the next one would be, have the exclusive charge and custody of the records and papers of the city, which shall not be taken out of their office unless upon the order of process of a court of competent jurisdiction, which,
Do you need of competent jurisdiction in there or just process?
The process.
Well,
of a
do you
court.
want a court that doesn't have jurisdiction in Newport telling us to take the papers out? Or they have to have the authority to tell us. You know, a local municipal New Hampshire court couldn't, I don't think, unless they had some type of subpoena. I don't know. Jurisdiction is important to legal proceedings, whether somebody has the authority to tell you to do something or not. It's things that you should probably just leave it in.
Instead of taken out, I think I just put removed. Which shall not be removed from their office.
Yeah.
Maybe you could even make it stronger by saying shall not be removed from the city office.
Oh, instead of his or her?
the city,
Or the clerk's office.
From the clerk's office.
City clerk's office, yeah.
Yeah, that can be moved up here.
shall not be taken out of the city clerk's office unless upon the order or process of a court of competent jurisdiction. Okay, that looks good.
Yeah, they can just provide copies if you want to
They
keep.
can provide
yeah,
copies.
Yeah, so if council needed a copy of something, you don't need to bring a formal record here.
Now, I think this is the part where I think we can take out this last sentence.
Yeah,
and
you've
start-
already said that at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, we said something slightly different, we said he had the same duties. I was just thinking you can combine those and just take rights and authority should, up at the top, have the same duties, rights, and authority evolving by law, so, and then you, it's just those two words that are substantially different. That gives them the
Yeah.
duties and,
Same duties, rights, and authority.
yeah,
Authority as provided by law.
yeah.
I thought you were getting rid of those and specifying what they were.
I think what we were gonna do is say as provided by law, including,
I'll include it.
and then say the amended version of, or the abridged version of Charlie's document. Okay. Let me. And so have the duties, is that the language we want to use? Have the duties, responsibilities, or the duties, rights, and authority? At the
Well,
beginning.
the city clerk shall have the same, so at the top, the
At
city
the-
clerk shall have the same, what is it, rights and authority, and shall perform for the city the same duties.
Well, we're not, but we took all that out. We took all the same language out because we weren't referring to the town clerks anymore. So what we have is the city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and should perform the duties of city clerks as provided by law. So what we can say instead is the city, instead of perform the duties, we can say have the duties, rights, and authority of city clerks as provided by law.
It's good as it is, and.
Performs okay.
Yeah, read what you have.
Well, we can't say performs the rights and authorities. That's why I'm
Right.
saying do we
Oh,
change
okay.
it to have.
Right, what do you have so far?
So what we have, what, before or with this updated
What
language?
you just read.
Change.
The city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and have the duties, rights, and authority of city clerks as provided by law. What we had
I think
previous to that.
maybe another clause there would be unless, you want to say something to, you want to keep the rendering unnecessary by this charter, but say it in a different way, so that you're saying that.
Unless otherwise provided
Provided.
for in this charter.
In this
We've been
charter,
using that language a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, as provided by law, unless otherwise provided for in this charter. Unless otherwise provided for.
Right, because then you're making some changes.
Well, and in this charter, we do have duties of the clerk, like in civil board authority. There'll be
Being the
other-
clerk of the council,
Clerk,
can't remove
yeah,
anything from their office.
yeah,
They can't receive the compensation.
yeah.
Are you on the live stream by any chance?
What do you mean?
Would you mind like dialing into the live stream, because then you could share your screen there? And I wouldn't have to ask you to read stuff, it could just be up on the screen for us.
I could do that, maybe. I'm not
My
sure,
memory isn't what it used to be.
I'm not sure that I have the live stream.
Well, if you
on
do
your
that,
laptop.
yeah, I don't know if it
I
is.
could,
I know Sharon hasn't been doing that.
Yeah.
Because,
let's table that maybe for next time, just
Sure.
because I don't actually have the link for the live stream, I'd have to look it up.
That's fine.
So,
I'm
but-
gonna ask you to read it again.
Yeah, okay, so from the top. All right, here is it as it stands all the way to the bottom. The city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and have the duties, rights, and authority of city clerks as provided by law, unless otherwise provided for in this charter. The city clerk shall charge the same fees as provided by law. The city clerk shall receive such compensation from the city for their services as the city council shall allow. The city clerk shall be clerk of the city council and shall keep a record of their proceedings. The city clerk shall be sworn to the faithful performance of their duties. And their records, copies, and certificates shall be legal evidence in all courts and for all purposes. The city clerk shall have the exclusive charge and custody of the records and papers of the city, which shall not be taken out of the city clerk's office unless upon the order or process of a court of competent jurisdiction. And that is where we've stopped.
And you had a series of other duties, Travis.
And then, yeah, we were gonna put the other duties in now. If everybody's happy with that language so far.
Well, you're right, that duties, responsibilities, and rights isn't, I don't think we can have the same verb there. Shall be appointed by the city council.
Well, we could say, shall be appointed by the city council, have the rights and authority of city clerks, and perform the duties. I mean, I think have does actually, it's not grammatically my favorite, but it's not wrong. You can have a duty, you can have a right, and you can have authority. I think if it was just duties, I think perform is a stronger word, but I think we're adding a lot of language that doesn't need to be there when have covers it.
Okay.
I mean, as a stickler for grammar, there's something to be said for having it grammatically correct, but it also, or grammatically perfect, I guess, but I'll settle for grammatically correct, even if it isn't my favorite.
Well, and it's gonna have to go a step above to legally correct, but I'm sure the lawyers will do that.
And
when they
it,
go
well,
through
if
it.
the lawyers don't, the state will,
Yeah,
is what makes sense. So I think we can leave that
Yeah.
and move forward. I don't think we need to get into like really in-depth wordsmithing at this point. Okay, so what are we adding now from Charlie's list? Can you read what you had abridged, Travis? And I'll just dictate.
well, some of it may be, if we're keeping the statement about, the clerk of the council, then some of it's redundant. But I started with the clerk must record all proceedings of city council meetings.
That's already in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So must.
Shall?
Yeah. I'm fine with shall.
I think Mike said that's the language that. Mike, is there a difference between shall or must in terms of
Yeah, I just keep using shall.
shall? Okay.
Maintain all public records.
That's probably in there already too.
Mm,
Is it?
Yes.
Well,
Well, it says-
Exclusive
it
charge
says
and
that they're
custody of
admitted-
records, and is that still in there?
yeah, shall have exclusive charge and custody of the records and papers of the city. So I think charge and custody does include maintenance. I think that's what
Okay.
charge includes.
We're keeping the line in there that it can't leave the office,
Yes, and we
which
made
is,
that,
which is really important.
we made that a little.
So that pretty much takes care of my first 5 things, right?
Well, except for the maintaining access to the public records, so if we kept it in that sentence.
Well, that's state law. So, I mean, that goes back to, are we gonna define state law or not, I guess?
Yeah,
We go back and forth, so.
well, I'm good not having the list. I was hashing this out as, more of a compromise on wording. I'm
Yeah,
fine
I'm
with
not,
leaving it as it
it
is.
doesn't bother me to put in there that they shall provide ensuring public access to public records.
I do like that language, and I do think that that's just really important
Yep.
for,
So do I.
okay. The city clerk shall ensure public availability of records. I think that's great language, Charlie. Public availability of records.
What,
As provided by law.
Yeah.
I would, ensuring public availability of public records.
Yeah,
Or just
probably
availability
should
of
say
public
public.
records.
It probably should say public records, yeah.
shall assure availability of public records?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the law is the Vermont Public Records Request.
Do we need to reference the, not, I almost called it up here, but that's the federal one. Do we need to reference the Vermont Public Records Act? Or is
I
that
would
just
just say it's
implicit?
provided by law.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright.
yeah, because they could change that and put a different heading on it at some point, right? Yeah,
Very likely will.
yeah.
And then, do we want to add something about the civil authority? That also seems, the Board of
Well-
Civil Authority, that also seems important to me?
Also, the city elections,
Okay.
so the clerk will manage.
Yeah, I think the
administer-
elections duties should be in there somewhere.
Manage or administer, I guess manage. So we manage city elections, confer oaths of office, and chair the board of civil authority. Chair the appropriate.
I don't think I would put anything with the Board of Civil Authority in that. I
Because
think
we're gonna deal
when we
with
go
it
to the
down
Board of
the road.
Civil Authority,
Right.
Yes, I'm okay.
we would, I think, say that that they are a part of the Board of Civil Authority and shall be the clerk or something.
The clerk of the Board of Civil Authority.
They're not just the clerk, they are a part of the Board of Civil Authority
Right.
and shall be the clerk.
Shall be a member,
Is a member
So
and
they're just a member.
serving as a member and clerk of the Board of
Right,
Civil
yeah,
Authority.
yeah. You want them taking minutes of that.
Okay, how about, the city clerk shall serve as a member of and clerk to the Board of Civil Authority? Is that what we want to say?
Yeah, but I would put that into the Board of Civil Authority, not.
Okay, so we're not gonna put that here. It's
Well, you
fine.
could.
I mean, I think we've already set precedent for having something in two places, so I think it's fine to have it
It's
there.
part of their duties, right?
Yeah. And then there was something about
Elections.
elections, what
Yeah.
was that?
Well, what I worded here, and it can change, doesn't matter, it's manage city elections, election-related records, and tax information. I don't know why.
See, that's public records again, right?
Tax information, though, may be more the responsibility of the treasurer, not the warden.
Okay, so let's get rid of that section, and just put, how about manage city elections, including voter registration and to certified votes? Because that is part of the duty, or is that just taking the ones that certify the votes?
I was just going to pair.
Don't they have to report it
Well, I
to the
think-
state?
Mhm.
Yeah, the city clerk.
See, I was assuming that would just fall under the managing of elections, but it may not. I was just gonna pair it up with the administering of oaths. You know, must, manage.
Manage city elections,
and
period.
Administer oath, and administer oaths of office. And just,
Yep, that's okay. It covers both of them, without defining it, but it still covers it. Yeah.
and we'll leave B, C, A out. And I assume with all the, as per state law that's in there, compliance with administration is kind of
That's state law.
implied.
That's state law right now, so.
Yeah.
So that's implicit. What about the city clerks may appoint assistant clerks? Do we want to put that in?
I think that's important because,
And who's their,
who's the appointer is,
Who's-
well,
Yeah.
now,
who is their supervisor? Because
Right.
it says it's supervisor. I think that's
So is the city council hiring, or would they get to hire?
city clerk.
and then who, wait, you're saying but who appoints the assistants? The clerk.
City clerk.
Is there anything governing that? Like, if the city, can the city clerk appoint a son?
Well, if there was a problem with it, the council does have the authority. We've already established in our last meeting that the council has authority to remove.
The clerk, right?
You can remove the clerk, you can remove anybody, yeah.
Do you want to provide assistants or hiring assistants the same way you've done it for, that we've done it for the city manager.
Or department head, I mean, you know, the department heads, I mean, the city council doesn't hire a
Right.
police officer
Right.
or supervisor. So I put that in there because it was in everything that I saw, so I threw it in there.
It's in state statute that the city treasurer at least appoints his assistant. I think it's in state statute that the clerk
Yeah.
appoints their assistants.
Yeah,
As
you can
opposed
still
to
keep-
having-
This goes a
So you
little
can still
further,
keep
this
the-
also gives them supervision of that,
As opposed to having the city manager appointing
yeah.
those people.
Jennifer?
The new charter refers to the clerk treasurer and the completion of the term, because you might want to put that in, because you've got Jim's term expiring, so you're going to appoint. So section 4, it ends up with the completion of elected term appointment and goes on to the job description. And that might be something to lift in for both the clerk and the treasurer. It does say they can be the same person, and just work on that section and sub it in as a whole new section. And just reference, you know, that section under the clerk treasurer. So if you take literally almost intact, subchapter 4 of the failed charter, that's all your transition.
Oh, yeah, just a
Yeah.
like a transitory clause, which there's precedent for that, because the original charter has a lot of transition clauses
Yeah.
for,
Yeah, and this is a transition.
Yeah.
so.
Maybe we ought to spell it.
Just who can be appointed or who oversees should, it says shall supervise, be supervised, but I think you need to read that in for both clerk and treasurer, for supervision of their employees in their office.
So is this something that we want to put in this clause? Do we want to put it in a separate clause?
It's combined offices, so it should follow, you have your clerk description, your treasurer description, and this should follow as for the joint. So I think somehow you reference in this section an upcoming section,
Okay.
because it's,
So you, yeah, what you're saying is you want the clerk and treasurer to be compatible. And so you may want to say that clerk may also be appointed as treasurer.
Yeah.
And say the same thing
I
under
think-
treasurer that,
or,
I think what she's saying is that the failed clause contains a section saying that the people who are already serving as
right,
these,
yeah, well, once, yeah, I know it.
yeah,
But once that office has been completed, then we're switching over to a new form that you're going to appointments. And then once you have appointments, you want to allow the council to hire one person that could do both jobs, but you don't want to hamstring them so that they must do
Require,
it. But
yeah.
they may,
Right.
because they may find someone they like as clerk, and they might find somebody that they like as a treasurer,
Yeah.
and they may not be the same people.
I see.
maybe just add a sentence at the end of the clerks and then at the end of the treasurers of C, the, you know, section, whatever, on combination, transition and combination of the
Yeah.
clerk treasurer's office.
Is the,
But I think, right, I think you could add a 13A and a 14A that included section 401. The incumbent elected city clerk shall continue to serve in the capacity through the expiration term of office on March 7th, 2028. In the event that they choose to or must leave prior to completion, they'll appoint a city clerk to serve out the remainder of the term. If that is added, that takes care of what Jennifer is talking about, which is the transition. And it leaves it in both 14 13 and 14 under both. But the thing that you're talking about, Mike, I thought we had it somewhere that you could use the clerk and treasurer as one. Is that nowhere in the old charter?
I feel like it might be.
I thought it was there somewhere.
Yeah. If you can find it for me, I'll make sure we haven't deleted it from the working draft.
Says the second paragraph of the city treasurer, which is the next one coming.
Okay, so we haven't.
It says the city clerk shall be eligible to hold the office of city
So
treasurer.
it's there already,
Okay.
Just that one line,
yeah.
yeah. That's under city treasurer, so I don't know.
But don't forget, it's the supervision of the employees, that's the key item.
So I guess, are we keeping that the city clerk may appoint assistant clerks who perform duties under the clerk's supervision in the charter? Under this, that's what you're just talking about. And all that does is it gives them the ability to appoint their own clerk. And they will be the supervision of it instead of the city council appoints all. Because in other areas of the charter,
Right.
all
I mean-
other employees are either
Right.
city manager or city clerk, right? So that
Would-
further defines that.
When we went to basically paying the city clerk treasurer, the question was, what happens if you have somebody who's not doing their job? And the simple answer is, you just don't pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was when they were elected, so, you know, you just, yeah. You do have some control over the clerk's office by pay, if you get an incompetent.
Yeah, well, I had a little tiff with the clerk treasurer telling me that we don't have any say in how he runs his office.
No, you have,
And my comment to him, which made the papers, I think, back 40 years ago, I said, no, you're absolutely right. You have the right. It says all that we have to do is provide you an office, which can be in the shit house downstairs if that's, you don't
or
want
you control the purse.
if you don't want to work with us, and we control the money. But yeah, so if you want to stick to that, you knock yourself out, and that was the end of that discussion.
But you provide the budget, so once you make the budget, and
Yep.
when you're drawing up a new budget, you have
Yep.
a real big issue, then the salary might be lowered, and might not be such a lucrative job to have.
Yeah, but that's not going to be a problem now that it's not elected, because they don't have the right to do whatever the hell they want. So do we leave that in A? I think A, B, and C is probably not a bad idea. Do we leave that city clerk may appoint in there? Okay. So then
Because
if
I think if you don't, the city manager then could
appoint,
say, I have the authority to appoint the city,
if it's not in there, I think you're right, yeah, that's what.
Yeah, and I think people wanted a separation of powers with respect
Separation,
to
yeah,
the treasurer and the city manager.
Yep.
yeah, you don't.
So that line there gives them,
Yeah.
Well,
But I think you should also include supervise. Not only do they.
it says that,
Oh, it does
under
say
the clerk's
supervise.
supervision.
Good.
Yep. That city clerk may appoint assistant clerks who perform duties under the clerk's supervision. That's the sentence that I had. You can reword it, but that was sentence.
you wanna put appoint and remove?
Yeah, I would think, yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yep. And then if we do a AB, or 1, 2, 3, or whatever, we've been doing AB, right? That's what we've been doing.
So what we have right now is all of what we discussed about everything up through appointing and removing assistant clerks. That's just the clause on city clerk, and then I added as 13A, a transitional clause saying that the incumbent city clerk shall continue through their office in 2028.
Okay, so that, no, I see what you're getting at. So this would just be A underneath it, yeah. Yeah, and that takes care of the transition, which I think is important. And it gives a date
Yeah.
specified and all that stuff, so.
So would it make sense, all the pieces that we just included, to say in that first sentence that we have, could you read that back?
Yeah. The city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and shall have the duties, rights, and authority of city clerk as provided by law unless otherwise provided for in this charter.
Then why wouldn't we say including all the lists that we just provided?
Including what? What list?
What, and then do it as bullet points?
Not, well, we don't bullet point.
Because, well, yeah, the problem is including, and then, like, the language we have now is it just says the city clerk shall do this, the city clerk shall do this, the city clerk shall do
Right,
this,
but
so.
before you get there,
Yeah.
because I think some of the other things that we're providing for after that may deviate from the statute. And what I think we're providing for here, I'm just throwing it out there.
So, do you think that it should just say including colon, and then go into all of what we just discussed?
Yeah,
Okay, so the city clerk shall be appointed by the city council and shall have the duties, rights, and authority of city clerks as provided by law unless otherwise provided for by this charter, including the city clerk shall charge the same fees as provided by law, the city clerk shall charge, I'm just gonna say shall charge fees as provided by law. I don't think it needs to say the same fees. If you take out the language.
and we may want to break those out so that they're 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Or you can go A, B, C, D.
Like, as a 13A, 13B, 13C, or just,
You're talking the duties? Break
Well,
out
we're
the
talking
duties?
about duties,
or just numbering
I
them?
mean, yeah, you can number them or letter them, but we're providing for a list of duties, responsibilities, I mean, everything that we have in there. Everything that we included after,
After including?
well, I mean, you know, we had worked on the language and it went all the way up to the competent jurisdiction, right, court of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And then we added more duties and responsibilities after that. How can we provide that into the opening clause? It just doesn't, we listed all that, and now we're listing more.
Okay,
It's just, I think, reworking it so it flows.
so including colon, and then there's 8 duties. Under that, I've listed in 1 through 8. 1, the city clerk shall charge fees as provided by law. The city clerk shall receive such compensation from the city for their services as the city council shall allow. 2, the city clerk shall be clerk of the city council and shall keep a record of their proceedings. 3, the city clerk shall be sworn to the faithful performance of their duties, and their records, copies, and certificates shall be legal evidence in all courts and for all purposes. 4, the city clerk shall have the exclusive charge and custody of the records and papers of the city, which shall not be taken out of the city clerk's office unless upon the order or process of a court of competent jurisdiction. 5, the city clerk shall ensure availability of public records as provided by law. 6, the city clerk shall serve as a member of and clerk to the Board of Civil Authority. 7, the city clerk shall manage city elections and administer oaths of office. 8, the city clerk may appoint and remove assistant clerks who perform duties under the city clerk's supervision. And then 13A is the transitional clause. So we could actually make,
Yeah, it sounds, that's fine, that's good with
you
me.
got every, stop.
I like that.
Alright.
The only thing, go back to the charging fees part, can you read that first sentence?
The city clerk shall charge fees as provided by law.
Can we just put in on behalf of the city, shall charge fees on behalf of the city, so we know where the receipts of those fees are going?
Can they charge fees on behalf of the city or just on behalf of their office?
Well, but the fees are going to the city.
Yeah.
The city's collecting
No,
those
but-
fees instead of him collecting.
Yeah, because otherwise, then you go back into the
So.
state statutes and those fees they can keep and
Well,
all of them
we
can
deal with that
make it
afterwards.
Yeah, and driver's licenses can get, or registrations can get renewed, and that money does not go to the clerk treasurer.
Right,
So, what do we want to do?
but there are fees that, there are liquor
Yeah.
license fees that come into the city that the
Yeah.
city keeps.
Yeah.
They used to
So
keep
is-
half and remit
Yeah.
half, now
Pat,
it just comes to the
Pat.
city.
No, they keep it
Pet
all.
registration.
I think we should.
Well, they don't keep it all, they just get remitted differently
Yeah.
now, but.
But a lot of those fees, so I would assume those
Would you
fees,
just say it would be remitted to the city treasurer?
That's
Why
what
not
I'm
check
saying.
state
He's
statute?
charging them on behalf of the city of Newport,
you know,
because in the law, it says that he gets to keep all those fees, that we don't have to pay him salary, he can just generate his own revenue.
right, I mean, we did change that in later on in the sense, but yeah. I'm fine with that, I mean, that just clears it up. If it's gray in anybody's mind, then that removes the grayness, so I'm good, I think that works for me.
Can we say the city, or do we have to say the city of Newport?
Well, I think you're gonna, I think the money will go from the city clerk to the city treasurer.
Yep.
So I think you just say the city clerk shall remit it, and shall be remitted to the city treasurer.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Okay.
And did we say collect fees or receive fees?
Well,
Charge is what we
I'm
want.
sorry.
charge.
Charge, okay.
So the city clerk shall charge fees,
Which shall be remitted to the city treasurer. No. Shall charge fees as provided by law
And remit
and
them
remit
to
them to
the,
the city treasurer.
And what is the treasurer going to do with them? I guess we can address that in the regular section.
Well, that'll be governed by statute then, it'll be governed by the budget.
Yeah. Is the budget in statute?
No, the budget, it's the working document for the city.
Yeah.
all right, shall we move on?
Okay, so then we've got A is that section 101, we're just gonna leave it in its entirety.
13A, transitional clause, the incumbent elected city clerk shall continue to serve in those capacities, shall continue to serve in that capacity through the expiration of the term of office on March 7th, 2028.
It's
In-
those, he's clerk and treasurer.
well, you're
No,
gonna put a separate one in city clerk and a
Yeah.
separate one in city
Yeah.
treasurer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, because we're gonna put it in each
you,
place.
you never know, he may, before he's done, he may wanna give up one of the offices,
Yeah.
and you have to appoint.
A point, which is probably if he does give up one, you can appoint.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about it,
Yeah,
but having
true.
thrown that in, I think, can't you start out this and say, as of March, with a 2027, the clerk treasurer shall be appointed by the city council? And just establish the date where you're appointing?
28, not 27.
Oh, 28, sorry.
This wording's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, the wording
It
is.
says the
but-
incumbent can stay there until 2028,
Yeah,
And then it.
and then afterwards it rolls, huh?
Then it'll go away like all the other transitional.
Well, it
Exactly.
doesn't
Yeah.
technically go away, but yeah, then
Yeah,
it gets
it's-
moved to.
Well, it's in the archive, I mean, it's in
It's
the,
archived.
yeah, yeah.
You could, it's interesting, you could start it out as of
March, what is it, March 7th, 2028,
Mhm.
the office of city clerk shall become an appointed office
Yeah.
within the city of Newport. Appointed office, yeah, within the city of Newport or something to that effect. The city council shall appoint and then move on from there. You could do that too,
Yeah. Either or.
either or.
And then you gotta repeat it.
We've already said they shall be appointed by the city council.
Well, that's where you would
Yeah,
just,
cross-reference it.
well, no, you just flow it into that
Put a
first
date in.
opening. That would be the opening to the city clerk for the new document. You can do it either way.
Yeah, I like keeping it in the definition of the clerk because 401 is gonna be obsolete, kinda. So people aren't really gonna wanna read it, you know.
Yeah, the 13,
So
yeah.
you could have it in both places, but
No.
for clarification.
Dennis, any thoughts before we move on?
No, not right now.
Okay,
We're good, you're doing well. Very well.
okay.
All right, are we going to city treasurer?
Now, what about the? Oh, we've already done that, so never mind.
Did we put anything in for the city clerk that said that they may also be appointed as city treasurer?
It was in the city treasurer one. Do you want to say the
Well,
same
that's what
thing
I
in the
wanted to-
city
yeah.
clerk one?
Well, probably.
Because I guess,
That one sentence could be in both.
Both of
I
them.
mean, yeah, I think you put one in both places. And you wouldn't want someone to, if you just say it in the treasurer.
Put that as number 9 down there on the top
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right, you probably do want to represent both places.
May also serve as treasurer.
May also be appointed as city treasurer.
Yeah. Right. Okay. It doesn't, so this one, the field one, there is a section that says the city clerk and city treasurer shall be supervised by the city council, which will set the job descriptions taken into account on requirements.
Is that in, did we put that into the duty of city council?
We might have it. We have the supervision for it. We might have it with the supervision of the city treasurer and clerk.
Department heads, appointments and terminations require, no?
You're right. Well, as we were going through, we were going to add other council duties as we came across them, and this one probably should be added in.
I'm not quite sure where she's adding the stuff about city council.
Oh, it says number 1 under city council.
Okay.
On what we did. Appoint, direct, supervise, and remove for cause the city manager, city clerk, city attorney, and city treasurer.
Great.
We've already covered that.
Where is it?
Number 1 of
What's that?
city council duties, 23.
Oh, 23.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
lucrative.
It sure is, isn't it? Now, is that,
I think they're both different numbers, right?
yeah, I mean, you can't give,
You guys having your own meeting over
I'm
there?
sorry. So I've been thinking about the clerk treasurer thing and the fact that the positions are combined, and one of the things I wanted to talk about that I wasn't certain was positions, and it appears as such, you know.
So but they're both
separated
elected,
out.
they're elected positions,
Right,
they're not incompatible. So you have a salary for each one.
right.
Well, and it's the expense
And I know,
for
and
each
I
department.
understand, no, I'm talking about the payroll.
Hmm?
The actual
Payroll
salary.
for each, one's one.
Yeah, because it's an expense. That payroll, a certain amount of his payroll goes towards city clerk, a certain amount goes towards treasurer, so when you're doing a budget for those departments, you put it in.
Right,
Certain
is it
amount
It's not
reasonable?
being added in the salary.
Is
Huh?
it reasonable?
It's in the budget as salary.
Yeah, the salary for the treasurer is 115 roughly. The salary for the clerk is 112. It means that the person's holding both positions, or the next nearest paid, I mean, it's nowhere near that, the.
No,
There-
that's,
there are
that's
three
for all three
employees.
positions.
No,
Yes.
just the salary for the clerk is 112, the salary for just
No.
the treasurer is 150.
Where's the salary for the assistants then?
That includes the assistants.
It should be broken out.
Well, that's the budget. So I don't know how they
It
do the
should be
budget.
broken out.
It should be, well, it should be even more so than that.
And even more so than that, a part of that
Goes in-
salary is in water
Water
and
and
sewer.
sewer should be. Yep.
So what you're seeing for it's $200 and something dollars,
227,
200.
228.
227, yeah.
For three positions, his two assistants and himself.
Okay.
But that's not all, because some of their salaries are paid for by water and sewer.
It's very unclear here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I think they're
That's
gonna
what we
redo
voted
that.
Yeah.
So is anybody on the budget, because we're changing how we address the budgets, right? That's what they're talking about going forward, breaking stuff down more.
No,
being
it
more-
was, we get this, we get more of this, consolidating it.
Yeah,
If you're just off the street.
yeah, it should be,
It's
it
like,
should be
that's a
pretty
great job, I'm
clear.
gonna run for that.
So, like, for the ambulance service, and not that that's a way to go, but I mean, our budget's, almost $8 million, so it's substantial. We have, our CEO salary broken down to various sections in our budget. Because you spend time, we actually have to break it down for each department. We have 4 locations, we have to break it down separately for all locations. So a percentage is divided, but if somebody has a duty, like our billing clerk has a salary, but part of it is for the cost for Johnson, part of it's for the cost, so it's different departments. And then the city clerk, they collect water and sewer rates, send out the bills, they got all those expenses. And it should be in there as an expense, and then there should be a payroll portion. Is there a payroll portion under the city clerk treasurer in the expense for, I mean, not that we're doing the budget, but. But there should be.
Charlie,
Yeah,
I don't think that we separate out payroll by department. I think because what's kind of the new term? I really think that, their payroll and stuff has always just been general. They don't, like, water and sewer is separate. When they do the billing for water and sewer, they get paid, what is it 12.5% of their pay goes to that. I don't remember the final figure of that, but it's just the one
so it's
thing.
just, so you're telling me it's just an income, not an expense in the sewer and water department? Because that's not correct if that's what they're doing.
Well, water and sewer it's a due to from, however that works. So water and sewer technically pays the city for their salary to do the billing. And that's how I believe that's how, I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that's how it's
So what's it under, administrative costs?
Yeah, there's a, yeah,
And water-
from the water and
I
sewer.
mean,
to the
we're
city.
getting into the weeds there a little bit. because
Yeah, we are.
we're not
I'm
doing
just
the
saying,
budget.
Here's my
I-
only thing, is,
All I'm
Okay.
saying is that we've kind of looked at all of that, you know, between the two departments, and it was pretty clear from, especially for the fiscal responsibilities portion of the task force, that we had to keep, like, even the city manager separate from the city clerk treasurer's office. So, like, even when they're doing the budgets, each office has separate duties and that kind of stuff. So it's looked at separately, so there's not a combination of stuff. Does that make sense?
Well, my comment to that is, boy, there really ought to be, but we're not doing the budget, so.
my only issue in bringing this up is it reasonable to pay a clerk, if appointed or elected, who also takes on the job as treasurer, the full salary for both positions? Or should there be a stipend added, because there is additional responsibility? But is it worth $227,000 to the city's money?
He's not getting.
I think those jobs are part-time, aren't they? And they're combined into one
Yes.
full-time position?
Yes.
It's half and half, it's divided equally. So whatever their salary is, if their salary is $60,000, 30,000 of it is clerk and 30,000 of it is.
Sure, but what it says, just in the budget line for this year, 115,362.50 for the clerk, and then 112,662.51.
But that's for three
But
people.
where's the assistant clerk?
Can I
I
interject
don't know.
something?
It's all in
Yeah.
there, that's what they're trying to tell
Can I
you.
just interject something?
Yeah.
What they get paid is not in the current charter, and it's not the proposed charter, and I think it falls well outside the scope of any charter. I think we're arguing about something that ultimately, that would be something to be taken up by the city council and the voters and say, hey, you know, I think that they should certainly get paid more for doing two jobs, but maybe not, you know, whatever. Bring that up in a city council meeting. I don't think it belongs in the charter. There's no precedence for it being in the charter, and I don't think that we necessarily need to dig into it right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're off in the weeds. If
Because
we're
we're
doing-
Well, it just, the proposed one set it as one job, city clerk and treasurer. That's how it's outlined in section 4. It's not even an option for it to be two positions.
You mean the one that failed?
I don't think that we necessarily need to say that it has to be one job.
Yeah, I think-
It can be, I think it's
Right.
fine.
So, and we're not doing that?
Yeah.
We're not following that. We're just stealing some of the language out of it, but
But I think the way.
there was basically nothing talking about the duties of the city clerk treasurer in this
But I think
charter. So,
what we're positioning and what we're talking about now is that the city council would have the option to create two offices and hire two different people, one for the
Yep.
clerk, one for the treasurer,
if need be. yeah.
if they wanted to go that route. But if they go that route, they're also going to have salaries for each one. And that's a proposal that they would have to put out there, and the voters could say yes or no.
But that would also be reflected in their upcoming budget at that point,
Exactly.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I think we missed, might want to, 11 on the city clerk, and is that because we're talking about an inclusive list, but it's not all inclusive, but we might want to put something in there that says, in any other duties, responsibilities as may be required by the council.
I'll just
No.
put that as,
At the end,
Yeah.
10.
I'm gonna put it as 10. Okay, so right now we have up through 9. I'm gonna actually put that as the new 9 because I think the city clerk may also be appointed as city treasurer, should be at the very end since that's,
Okay,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
that would be 10.
The city clerk,
The city council,
the city council.
and it should be any other duties as may be required by the city council.
Yeah.
That way it leaves the door open for the council to, they don't have to go back and, if they wanna make a change, they'll have to go back into the charter and make an addition or.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking including meant not all inclusive.
Well,
But that's
is,
spelling
but-
it out. That's spelling it out pretty clear. I like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
done.
Okay. So we're done with clerk?
We're done with it.
Everybody good? All right, city treasurer, I did the same kind of thing. Dennis, you probably don't have this, do you?
Dennis, would it be helpful
Is there any
for
way
us to
that
read?
Gary could scan it and
I
email it?
can probably email it to him.
Or can you even just take a picture of it and text it to him?
I can probably email it. What would, is he there?
Dennis, are you there? He might be busy with the customer.
You know what, I'll just send it, and then we can tell him.
Can you send him both of them?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we've already gone over the city clerk, so he doesn't really need to.
I just gotta go to my sent, oh, actually, they're two different ones. I'm gonna forward this to him, the city treasurer doc. Forward. Include Dennis. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the city clerk, so he's got it,
Okay,
what we were working out from. I mean, we're not using it, but at least he's got it.
all right. We'll
I
check,
should've-
we'll
I
check
should've-
in with him when he comes back and see, make sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, because I sent these to Sharon, and I didn't know if she put it up on that.
I don't
Google
think
Drive
so.
thing, but
Here, I
I'm
can
guessing
check. I
None
didn't-
none of you seem to have it, so.
No, I don't see it in the folder.
Okay.
So, do we wanna give the first line of the city treasurer, do we wanna give it the city clerk treatment in terms of shall be appointed by the city council and shall have the duties, rights, and authority of city treasurers as provided by law, unless otherwise provided for in this charter, including, just like we did with city clerk?
Yeah, I would think.
But there's also that extra language in this about subject to the same liabilities. And that was not in the city clerk section.
Okay, we can add that.
We have to start with the shall be appointed by the council, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Boy, that sentence is getting big. The city treasurer shall be appointed by the city council and shall have the same duties, rights, and authority, and be subject to the same liabilities of city clerks as provided by law unless otherwise provided for in this charter, including.
Can you say again the words that are at the beginning? Because this says same powers.
Yes, we changed, we could say that. What we had with city clerk, which I just copied and pasted over, and maybe that wasn't the right call, was have the duties, rights, and authority. Do you think powers denotes a different kind of thing?
Isn't that the substitute for authority? And maybe that was the word we wanted to use in the city clerk as well. I don't know, I'm just asking.
Is there, Mike, do you know, is there much legal difference or legislative difference between power and authority? Might be, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we're using authority now
Authority instead of
instead
power?
of power.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
And perhaps perhaps use with as opposed to and shall.
We've been with, what do you mean with?
With the same powers, duties, or whatever
Oh.
you're using,
Uh,
as opposed to and shall have. Just say with the same.
oh, I mean, that's not bad language, Mike. I always refer to Mike, defer to Mike because he's seen these before the legislation.
We generally use shall or may.
Okay.
Okay.
I agree,
Kind of stupid.
it's an unwieldy sentence at this point, but it's still teetering on the brink of what's grammatically acceptable, so until we can, and I mean, I think too, though, at the end of the day, the lawyers and the state are gonna have their way with it, and if it's really bad, they will.
It'll be incomprehensible.
Yeah, so, I know it's not my favorite, but it does include everything from what we've gone over and what's already there, so. Okay.
The other piece I just looked in the proposal, failed proposal was,
Can you speak just a little louder?
yeah, the one piece that was in the failed proposal that we haven't talked about yet, for both of them, is talking about not just the supervision by the city council and setting the job description, but also performance evaluations, removal of office for cause,
Put that in.
a hearing. I know that's in, we put that in for the city manager, right? What is that, do we have a general area that we put it in under city council?
Well, isn't there a clause on appointment of officers appointed by city council?
Says appoint, direct, supervise, and remove the city manager, city clerk, city attorney, and city clerk.
Okay.
That's our,
So we have a general,
we have that under the duties of the city council.
and we didn't rename that under the city manager, right?
Nope,
No, that's under,
23, city council.
well, but it's also under, powers of mayor. There's another place that it lives to. Oh, I lost it. It's in a few different places. Oh, right now it's section 8, officers appointed by city council. The old language was something like, shall appoint and may remove at its pleasure the following officers.
Didn't we table 8, that's why.
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't finish
why
it?
we've still tabled 8, but I think it's gonna be covered under 8, I think
Okay.
that was what we decided. We had just tabled it because I think we thought we needed to work out
Right.
what all those appointments
Yeah.
look like, and then we would go back
Maybe
to
what we do then, once we have that, is to go back to the city clerk, city treasurer, city manager, and put that in
both places, so it's in both
the,
places.
well, you don't, but just, you know, you could have something in there that's, you know, removal from office, see section 8,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely. I'll make a note under section 8 that we,
Yeah.
You're gonna run into a conflict with your non-union employees' contract, because that addresses clerk treasurer and their office, but does not include the city manager. So any non-union employee is, except for the city manager, is covered by your personnel policy.
Right, collective bargaining.
Yeah, yeah, and so
But your city
anything about
manager-
removal
Yeah, but your
should,
city manager, city clerk, city treasurer, they're not covered under collective bargaining,
no,
right?
yes, but the city manager is not under the personnel policy, the clerk
Right.
treasurer is. And right now, as it stands in the city of Newport.
What? They're elected.
They still, because they are an employee, they're paid by the city. They're under the personnel policy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
Where is that?
That's a little
The
crazy. That's why
personnel
we're-
policy
That's
is
why we're
eventually
redoing the charter,
online.
right?
Well, no, it's the personnel policy that's a little crazy, but
Is it?
That doesn't make
And-
sense.
And the chief of police is under that.
Well, I can see that, possibly. but
It's-
Not
it's-
the clerk and treasurer, that's an elected office.
But its salary is a salary paid by the city, so then the salary part is there. They can't
So-
fire him. There's
Yeah,
an
but-
exception, is slightly different than everybody else, but the majority is under that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's
Because
the
they're not
city
under
of Newport.
anybody's supervision but the voters.
right.
And the council can set compensation, but if they lose, so say they can't be removed from office.
They
They're
can't
not el-
eliminate
they're
their
not
salary.
eligible for unemployment.
I put it this way, it's gonna be corrected if your
Yeah.
revision of the charter goes through.
Wow,
But
that's-
so far, that's how it's been handled.
Yeah, but I think that's something the council, if their council has direct supervision,
There's a whole bunch of videos because this was the subject of umpteen different meetings. You will
Oh,
blow
really?
your mind.
But it may also be why we don't want to refer to the personnel policy.
Right.
Which we haven't,
Pardon?
we haven't.
We did at one point decide to include
We did,
personnel policy
Yeah,
along with collective bargaining
I
agreements.
think that was in the city manager language that we did that. I remember.
Yeah,
right,
but
I
the
remember
city
that.
manager needs to adhere
And
to
I think we had a question mark
all of that.
in that area, which,
Yeah.
and this may be a reason not to include those words.
I don't think in that, in section 8, when we start talking about city, you know, the council has authority, supervises, and I think, you know,
So
there's a
we
discussion
address-
of cause.
We'll look at it again.
We
Yeah.
addressed that under city manager.
Yeah.
Says all personnel actions, including hiring, layoffs, and promotion, shall be conducted in accordance with any active collective bargaining agreement and personnel policies. So we did stick to
Put
that
those words in.
because he has to, or based on the individual's training, blah, blah, blah. So,
And that also requires the voter now to go out and look at the personnel policy.
yeah, but you can't write that whole thing into a charter because that can change tomorrow.
No, I know, but you can strike that out, and when we go back, I'll ask about it.
No, it's not saying the specific, that whatever personnel policy is there, he has to adhere to. So as it changes, it doesn't change his duty to
But it
adhere.
is going to be adhered to, and as Mike just pointed out, some of it isn't possible. So,
Yeah,
So that
Yeah, I
personnel
mean-
policy will have to be rewritten anyway.
yeah, not by us.
But again, it's a policy that can be changed.
Are you sure you're not volunteering?
Nope.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, let's,
So
Yeah.
we're at right now, the city treasurer shall be appointed by the city council and have the duties, rights, and authority, and be subject to the same liabilities of city clerks as provided by law, unless otherwise provided for in this charter, including, and then the very first thing would be, the city clerk shall be eligible to hold the office of city treasurer. That's the first thing in the current charter.
yeah, it's the last thing under
Yeah.
city clerk.
I mean, I
So
think we
do
can.
we want to stay consistent with that
We
statement?
can move it, we can move one or the other, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you think. I don't have a strong opinion on it.
I think we should be consistent. If it's the last thing on the clerk, it should be the last thing on the treasurer.
I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
make a note
that's just my
down.
opinion,
But
but I'm just one person.
are there other things that you want the treasurer doing that are outside of what, that are different than what the state requires of a treasurer?
Yeah, I think she's just talking about making sure we put in
No, I
that
agree,
comment.
yeah, it should be the last.
This should be, yeah.
And then second to the last should be any other duties
Yeah,
that the council may require.
yeah.
But it seems as if you gave a description of what the city clerk is gonna do generally. You should give at least some description of what the city treasurer is going to do. None of that is in
No,
the,
this is kind of a,
No, there's nothing. Well, that's what my whole thing is some
Failed
sort of
charter.
a description. But, and we can shorten it up like we did the city clerk one, but. So, I mean, the first sentence was the city that I wrote. The city treasurer is key financial officer responsible for managing the city's funds, ensuring compliance with laws, and supporting the city council and other departments in financial matters. Duties span accounting, tax administration, investment management, payroll, budget, support, and compliance.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if we need that, but,
yeah, but
or is that a personal?
what you're saying there is that you're giving all the responsibility to manage the city funds to the treasurer without city council input, right? Do you want,
I don't know if
Do you-
I'm saying that. or
do you
not.
want, well, I mean, you're saying. so-
Yeah, yeah, that is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, so do you want,
No,
you know, I think you want the treasurer to provide,
support,
Should we do kind of like we did with the city clerk, where we go through what's in the charter now and see what
Well, I
we
don't-
want to strike? and
I
what
don't see
was-
much in the charter, it doesn't really detail anything, but.
Well, it does go over some stuff like publishing,
The
To
board
post-
taxes.
post notice, deduct from taxes.
It's just all about taxes, and that's,
Yeah. It is all about taxes, isn't it?
so if we just took out the city council is, out of mind, responsible for managing the city funds, which they have to do. And I took out the key financial officer responsible for. I just put is responsible for. Ensuring compliance with state laws, supporting the city council and other departments in financial matters. So that,
did we have anything in the duties for the city council that they are responsible for city investments and funds?
yes.
If we do, it should be in consultation with the appointed city manager or the city treasurer.
Would you say appoint city manager?
No, city treasurer, so
The city treasurer,
in
appoint?
consultation with the appointed city treasurer.
Yeah, because it does say the city council appoints them.
Right, but when we talk about in city investments, city,
Yeah, I'm looking
you
to
know,
see.
all of that, whose responsibility do you want it to be? And if you're giving, and does the council want to advocate their,
It should be the treasurer's responsibility, but it should be under the advice of the council.
with oversight, so the council would have to approve certain things, like kind of what we did with the city manager as well, right? As far as contracting. You wanna make sure the treasurer has the authority to sign warrants and all that, but, well,
Open bank accounts, put,
Sign
people
checks
make
and all that,
deposits
right.
and all that kind of stuff. yeah.
so, but you don't want them, they can't write checks without the council's sign off on the warrant, right?
Right.
They have to provide the council with a warrant, so is that spelled out in statute, or is that something, and even so, do you want it spelled out here?
Yeah, the only thing it says is, in addition, the city council ensures the expenditure initiatives are adhered to the adopted budget and charter. That's all it says. in relation to that. It's a
Yeah.
one-liner. I don't know if that covers it or not.
Is the difficulty the word managing? What does managing the funds mean? Is it, I mean, they store the funds and they
They make deposits,
they
they
deposit
make
to the
withdrawals, they
funds.
transfer money to the city accounts,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's the banking aspect of it that they're
Yeah.
responsible for, but not for figuring out what to do with the funds in terms of how, where are they going to be spent?
But what if you have, say you've collected all the taxes, right, twice a year? Do they have, who has the authority then to put that into a money market? Or to invest it in short-term investments? Or shouldn't they have to have council approval to move money around, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And same with warrants. I mean, to pay the bills of the city, they should, I'm assuming Jim makes up a list
So did,
and brings it to the council for the council to sign off before he can pay those bills, right?
did you
Which is
read,
the same as that.
did you read what I put in here?
No, because I don't have,
It's on
Yeah,
the
you-
back
yeah,
of
you
the.
did.
it's on the back of the list.
So that's kind of all in there in what I put in, so, maybe we should read that.
Did you get that out of the state statute?
Not word for word, because some of it didn't apply, some of it did, and they don't wanna, they don't want us referring to state statutes.
No, I agree with
so-
that, but your list comes from AI or it comes from?
Oh, no, it's from state statute stuff, yeah. I copied and pasted, and I got rid of some stuff that didn't. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this is pretty much what state statutes say. But it covers what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the question is there anything outside of, or a deviation from statute that you want? And if not, then what are the key points that you want included into the charter? Like we did with the city clerk,
Yeah,
that are already their responsibility under state statute.
right, but if you just say according to state statute, then they don't want us doing that.
Well, we
Number
just
one.
did it with the city clerk.
Well,
right? So
except that we did it,
There were
yeah.
some deviations that
Right,
you want,
right,
but we also included some things
yeah.
that are spelled out. Like, is it in state statute that you want them to work with the city council, city manager to come up with a budget, manage the budget, looking at grants, looking at capital budgeting? Is that something that's under statute? If it isn't, it's something we want to include, right?
I don't know that that's what the clerk treasurer did now. I don't think that they
May not, but
formulate and help them formulate and manage
Mhm.
the city budget.
Well, right now, we have that as a duty of the city manager with support of the mayor.
yeah, but this here is, this is saying that the treasurer assists the city manager and council.
Can I float some language out there? The city treasurer shall serve as the fiduciary custodian of all city funds and shall faithfully safeguard, account for, invest, and disperse such funds only as authorized by the duly approved city budget, which I approved, I didn't know if that was the right word that should be.
Or by
Not
council.
elected,
I would say
the-
just by the city
by
council.
the budget, by the lawful appropriations of the city council, this charter, and the laws of the state of Vermont.
Where's that under?
I just pulled together what we were doing and
What was of the three of them, the three at the last, first one was?
So they, all the things that they do, invest, disperse, account for, safeguard, they do, either at the, authorization of the approved budget, right? The lawful appropriations of city council, so anything you guys decide to spend money on, or you're not on council anymore, so Charlie. This charter and the laws of the state of Vermont.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the budget governs them. I don't think that simply if the budget says money can be spent on something that the treasurer has a right to act on it because of the budget. So I would get rid of that and leave the others.
No, all bills, unless they've changed the way they do some, all bills that are paid have to be signed off by the council
Yeah.
to go to the city treasurer to have the bills paid. That's what we currently do.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do.
But it's overspending the accounts, and whether you tie it to the budget, you can't overexpend in a budget line item.
I guess the only reason I stuck the budget in there is because it's the closest representation of the, approved will of the people. We're agreeing to spend this much on these things, and so it should be a guideline for that year.
Yeah.
It's a guideline, but the council has the authority to move money around within the
Sure.
budget too.
Yeah, so we can pull the budget piece out.
Can you read it again then?
Without the budget piece, yeah, the city treasurer shall serve as the fiduciary custodian of all city funds, shall faithfully safeguard, account for, invest, and disperse such funds only as authorized by lawful appropriations of the city council, this charter, and the laws of the state of Vermont.
I don't know about lawful appropriations of the council, just,
Appropriations.
just out of, the council rules it, not appropriations, and appropriations can get confused with those appropriations that the voters vote on at the end, so it's a confusing word for us.
So, only as authorized by expenses approved by the city council, or?
So you're trying to put this in one paragraph, is that what your goal is?
Well, I like it as an
Not
introduction because
necessarily,
it
just
talks
as like
about,
a first.
Yeah.
I talks about fiduciary, which is great.
It's typically implicit in charters, but I don't think it hurts to outline that that's the whole reason they're bonded, is because they're supposed to be acting in the best interest of the city.
Yeah, and that's the reason that they have liabilities as well.
Right.
So fiduciary, I think, is great. It does describe their responsibilities.
Anyway, just floating that out there. But I'm good with whatever, we can line by line it. It gets very heavy into the collection of taxes.
What does?
The original charter,
Yeah.
everything's laid out very specifically.
Right now I have the city treasurer shall serve as the fiduciary custodian of city funds. And then I stopped because I think that was where we started to have questions about it. But
But
that,
it started, the city treasurer has the fiduciary responsibility for managing the city's funds. What does it say?
But not managing.
For handling.
That may be a better word, because managing
Yeah.
is sort of like a joint thing
I
that,
look at manages how you, yeah, not,
Well, and the
charge
custodian,
of.
it's not yours, you're taking care of it for someone else in all the ways you could take care of it.
Or would you say that the city treasurer shall have the fiduciary responsibility to the city?
I think it says that.
for
It
city
says the city treasurer serves as the fiduciary custodian of all city funds.
do we have Dennis or Lori chiming in? Thought I heard something.
Oh, sorry, that was probably my computer dinging at me. I was gonna say though, I like that term, fiduciary custodian, because really the maker of the budget is the city manager's office, but the one who the one who cares for the day-to-day in and out of the finances, the money, whatever, is the treasurer's office. So, because the city manager isn't doing that, Carrie in her financial role is not doing the day-to-day stuff that's going into the computer. It really is the responsibility of the treasurer's office to make sure that those funds are going in the right place, charged to the right place, out to the right people, to manage that part of the work. So that's an interesting word, but it's good. That fiduciary custodian, I think, is a good word.
And also, don't forget that the bank is also charging you administrative fees, and that is for working alongside the city treasurer's office to maintain those funds.
Yep.
So, one thing we could do then is just, since I think we all seem to feel pretty comfortable with the term fiduciary custodian, can we just have that be number one is if we're numbering like we did with the city clerk, just say the city treasurer will serve as the fiduciary custodian of city funds, period? And then move on to outline what that looks like in terms of, I don't think that we have to necessarily have every duty as one number point, So fiduciary custodian basically says they'll handle the money for the city. But it doesn't spell out things like investments, which I do think goes beyond what a fiduciary custodian would do. A custodian would handle and safeguard money, yes, but investing is beyond the realm of what I would consider a custodian to be in charge of.
Certainly not investment management.
Yeah, so
So that's not a great term.
it's
My term.
I feel like fiduciary custodian is a term that can be used, but it doesn't encompass everything that we're talking about the treasurer doing.
I don't know if they decide to invest money in, let's say, a CD that's earning 5% right now, when if they just leave it in a checking account, it doesn't earn any interest.
Right.
I think that decision is still made by the council to do that kind of investment, because, how long
That's
the
if
money,
you're gonna lock up the money.
how long are you
Yeah.
gonna lock up the money?
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
that they make any investment decisions at all.
I'm not sure.
They administer it.
Yeah, they could
They're
administer
the ones that do
investments.
it, but they don't make the decision.
Right. And who is the collector of current and delinquent taxes? I don't think
City manager.
that's, yeah, I think
It
it
can't
is.
be the treasurer.
Well, not current, only delinquent. It's the same thing. So that
Yeah.
could probably get rid of the and delinquent.
Yeah.
Oh, right, not delinquent.
But they certainly are
Right.
collectors of current.
Absolutely.
Of current.
But that's collector of taxes. I'm just looking up statutes,
Yeah.
and they talk about treasurer, and they talk about collector of taxes.
As somebody different.
Yeah, or it could be. So we may want to make sure that we're saying, treasurer shall be the collector of taxes.
Yeah, that's what I put down.
Okay.
And I think
Serve as a collector of, you're saying get rid of current and just put taxes? Because delinquent taxes, we already gave that job to
Yeah, so,
somebody else.
yeah, they're saying they're the collector of taxes, and they would have to, if it's gonna be someone different, then they would have to provide that list of delinquents to the delinquent tax collector.
Yeah.
So I do have to leave here in 7 minutes, and I'm only bringing this up because I'm fine with, the meeting can continue without me, but I will be taking notes. So if you guys do wanna continue the meeting, if you could just take really detailed notes on Charlie's and then send it to me, then I can go in and add all of this to the document. If you guys wanna continue to talk, that's fine, just make sure that you take like detailed notes on the language you all follow on, and then I'll just add it to the working document. Does that sound okay with everyone?
Is this meeting being recorded
Yes.
Yeah, but not on my computer. It'll continue to be recorded.
so that anybody who could take,
You'd have to wait till
you'd have to
Todd,
wait till that was
till
available?
Todd puts it on there, yeah.
You guys mind if I just read something really quickly? A fiduciary custodian in a municipality referred to the official or institution legally responsible for safeguarding public assets, investments, or public records. Because municipalities handle tax and grant dollars, local officials are held to a strict fiduciary standard of care and loyalty. And then it does break it down into things like financial assets, which are, because the official custodian of public funds, they oversee deposit accounts, authorize disbursements, and manage investments for trust funds. So there is some information, AI and on the internet to actually do what we're talking about, what you guys are talking about in just that one sentence would pretty much cover, what all the back and forth what we're talking about that would happen in the treasurer's office. So just putting that out there.
Which statement?
Just the part about serving as the fiduciary custodian. Lori, I think, Lori, what you're saying is that when you use the term fiduciary custodian, it covers a range of responsibilities.
Yes. Yep. So, I can certainly copy this and send it to Sharon or one of you. I just typed it in, honestly, I just typed it into Google, and it's an AI.
I guess since it's AI though, I just would want to verify that that's
Yep.
something that's actually outlined somewhere versus just something that AI came up with.
Yeah, there are links to sites that
So-
it pulled from.
Seeing we're linked, instead of using, I'm not I think AI is fun. It's not extremely accurate in a lot of cases. If we're gonna be referring to what state statutes require as a city treasurer without actually saying that, maybe we should go to that
Yes.
versus
For the state
AI.
statute?
Versus AI, which is kind of what I did, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
So
think
this stuff here was pulled from what the state statutes say are the responsibilities of the
Well,
treasurer.
then do we just want to itemize these one through whatever? I mean, then I would suggest let's just go through Charlie's list and make sure we're all in agreement on these responsibilities, and then we can just add them to the language.
So that's what we did for the city clerk, and they're numbered, and I'd
Right.
like to be somewhat consistent
Yeah.
for the charter. So if you're gonna list 1 through 11 for the city clerk,
Mhm.
wouldn't hurt to list 1 through 11 for the
Yeah,
city treasurer.
I think that's what we'll do.
Is
That's
that
how I
okay
have
with
it
you guys? I
formatted
mean,
right
how do you
now.
feel about just doing that?
Do we want to go through these line by line and agree on them, or do we just?
When you have to leave?
I gotta leave in 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
I can probably stretch it out. A little, because I'm just hopping next door, actually, but,
Why don't we just end this at 11? Because having somebody doing what you're doing is pretty important.
okay.
I think.
I need
Because
to,
otherwise, we're gonna be taking notes. My notes aren't gonna agree with Travis's notes.
well, you have a lot of faith in my notes.
Huh?
You have a lot of faith in my notes.
Sometimes.
All right.
Don't get too carried away, 'cause I might not next week.
I'm trying to be faithful to everything that you're saying. All right, so keep accurate records of all city accounts, including municipal and school taxes, bonds, notes, grants, and other funds. Do
maybe
we
you don't need the including.
just keep accurate records of all city accounts?
Just go for it.
Do you want me to email this to you so you can?
So just copy paste it? Yeah, if you want.
I mean, I don't know, that's up to you. Would that be easier?
Yeah, I'm a pretty fast
You do- yeah, you
transcriptionist,
are.
but
Okay. I don't care, I just asked you.
I appreciate it, but I think I'm okay. Unless you want to.
I can send it to you. And take it. That I'm capable of.
Records of all city accounts and then just stop it there?
I was just offering that. Otherwise, I think you should include debt as well.
Mike, from a legislation standpoint or legislative standpoint, do you think it makes sense to be more specific or less specific with accounts?
I think you want less specific than you do want more specific. The more specific, then you're tied into that. I'm just looking up what it talks about town treasurer for finances, accounts, and audits. So it says, this is town treasurer, accounts, city accounts. The accounting officers of several cities, so the accounting officers, the treasurer of cities within the state shall keep uniform accounts in the manner prescribed by the auditor of accounts. So the auditor is telling treasurers how to keep their, how to
Yeah.
account for the town.
So in my
money.
list, it says cooperate with city auditor, provide financial records promptly, and prepare for annual audits.
But it's.
It's not the same.
No, it's keeping uniform accounts in the manner prescribed, so what it's saying is that the treasurers need to utilize the same accounting procedures that all other towns and cities do. And there's a whole list that's here. Accounts report, city accounts, record of taxes voted, record of orders, settlement with auditors, collector's receipts, account with collector, balance due treasurer, outstanding orders.
Is that statute?
Yeah,
So at the very end, I said city charter must comply with all statutory requirements of the state of Vermont.
Except debt isn't there, and
Huh?
debt for this city at this time is a really important one.
What's that?
Debt is not included in that list. And it's really important for us at this point that somebody does have eyes on that in a way that's mandated as opposed to, yeah, well, we'll run it by you if we feel like it.
That's births and deaths, right? Those?
Debt.
Oh, I thought you said death.
No, well,
But
you
it's
have
that
debt
blue
too if
option.
you want, but,
What's that?
no, it was debt, we were talking
Debt.
about fiscal stuff, it's really important.
Yeah.
Okay, so for number one, what language do we want to use? The city treasurer shall keep uniform records, accurate records, uniform and accurate?
accurate uniform records.
Yep.
Accurate uniform records of city accounts, including debt.
Well, you have a whole slew of them. Municipal and school taxes, bonds, notes, and debt of any kind, so that could be short-term or long-term.
So do you want to put all of those in there, including municipal and school taxes, bonds, notes, grants, short and long-term debt, and other funds?
Yeah.
Okay.
And other funds, in case you missed one.
Okay, got it.
So,
Good coverage.
in all the departments, does everything flow through the treasurer?
Expenses do.
Well, does
And income.
and expenses, so
Yeah.
from the water sewer department,
Yep.
is that,
Yes.
everything flows through the treasurer, right?
Yep.
In theory.
Yep.
flowing
not-
sometimes, produced,
Grants,
Sometimes you might have a date.
grants flow through the treasury.
The monies do.
Well, and do the expenditures of grants flow?
Yep.
They gotta go,
Yes.
everything has to
Yes.
flow through.
Everything does.
Anything that's monetary.
Everything does. City council can't write a check for anything.
right.
Neither can the city
So
manager.
should that be the number one thing that you say is all? All income and expenses for the city of Newport flow to the treasurer or something to that, so it's crystal clear to everybody that
There-
have to
There's
go-
no secret slush fund
Mhm.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I do, this
I don't
line
know.
that I've got in there is keep a running account of all monies received, paid out, or invested.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that covers it.
How about all financial transactions?
The city treasurer shall keep a, do we wanna say, okay, we could say running account, or we could say up-to-date account of all financial transactions?
Well,
Running up-to-date, like,
up to date could be monthly,
okay,
could
the
be
city treasurer
weekly.
shall keep
A running account is always.
a running account of all financial transactions.
Is
And I
that in
think-
addition to the other part, or in substitution of it?
What other
It's in
thing?
addition. It's basically, I added that as number one and moved the accurate uniform records to number two.
Possibly say all departments and subdivisions
Accounts of all financial transactions
of the city, all city departments and subdivisions.
of all city departments
In case you leave the school in there, it'll at least address water and sewer.
subdivisions. Okay. The city treasurer shall keep a running, okay, let me start again. Number one, the city treasurer shall keep a running account of all financial transactions of all city departments and subdivisions. Number two, the city treasurer shall keep accurate uniform records of all city accounts, including municipal and school taxes, bonds, notes, grants, short and long-term debt, and other funds.
In the first, we say income and expenses.
Running
Financial
account of all-
transaction would be both, wouldn't it?
It should be, but
So I could change financial transactions to all income and expenses. I mean, I think it's,
Well, I think it's crystal clear.
yeah.
We're not just looking for you to keep a record and
Yeah, I
Of
guess
all
I'm
the
trying
income
to
that's
think
coming in,
if
but
there's a
everything's
type of
going
a
up.
transaction that doesn't fall as either income or expense. But I guess.
Renewing
that covers-
CDs,
Hmm?
renewing CDs might not be income or
But-
expense, it's just a rollover.
But that is covered in the third
Red
line,
fund,
which we haven't
yeah.
got to yet, which is the city treasurer shall, oh no, I'm sorry, that's a lie. The fourth one, the city treasurer shall invest and reinvest city funds with city council approval. So that is covered further, a little further down the
The
road.
language of the budget is definitely income and expense,
Okay,
so I like that a little bit better than financial transactions,
okay.
but that's just my opinion.
Okay. All right, okay, so then I have for number three, the city treasurer shall serve as the collector of delinquent taxes, which I think we'd already talked about. I just took current out of there because we had
collector
decided
of
that,
taxes.
yeah.
I'm sorry, not delinquent, you took
No.
out,
I took out current, is that
why?
right?
Oh, just the collector of taxes,
Yeah.
not
Tax, she took out current and delinquent.
and
And
delinquent.
just add taxes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just collector of taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number four, the city treasurer shall invest and reinvest city funds with city council approval.
Can I, did you do water and sewer anywhere, because it should be collector of taxes and water and sewer fees?
Are those considered taxes or?
Right.
You could say a collector of current taxes and fees.
Taxes and, collector of taxes and fees.
Well, because we collect school taxes too. for all
If
citizens.
ever there's, city contemplates putting a 1% sales tax on.
Mm-hmm.
How about the serve
That would
as
be-
collector of
Yeah.
all taxes?
Yeah.
Does that cover it?
I don't think we call whatever we collect for water and sewer a tax. I think we call it,
There's differences between the tax
Yeah,
and the
it's a
fee.
user fee.
It's a user fee, you also have ordinances, so penalties.
the fees, I think, should be included.
Just-
Taxes and fees,
Just fees.
So down a little farther,
you got it.
I put support other departments, e.g. sewer, highway, assessor zoning with billing, collections, and financial reporting.
I think you could wrap it all in one. It's just being a collector of taxes, fees, and penalties.
And penalties. Okay. Taxes, fees, and penalties. Next one.
Where are we at?
We
Oh,
already talked
manage
about.
payroll, employee benefits,
We
taxes.
talked about, we talked
Um,
about investing and reinvesting funds. Everybody feels comfortable with that, or no?
Reinvestment's not approved by the council. When has the council approved a certificate of deposit or anything on some of the other funds that we have? What the investment's doing in the Niles Fund?
They should.
It should.
They should, but I don't think they are.
Well,
This is gonna
if
say.
if this passes, then they will. Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, we can move on from there.
Yeah.
Manage payroll, employee benefits, and tax withholdings.
Don't know if they do that, or is it the city manager who manages them? Do they just record? I don't know.
Does the treasurer issue the check?
Yes.
So everything is done through the city treasurer's office then?
Mhm.
Yeah. Payroll,
They implement.
Yeah.
all the withholding taxes and sending it out, the employee benefits packages, all of that is paid for by the.
So,
But are they managing it, or are they,
um,
are they preparing it? I don't know. It's just the managing that,
Well, they do more than
I think it's-
prepare.
the process? Process payroll, employee benefits, and tax withholding. That's, they're processing it, they're not.
Okay. I
They're
think
not-
that's,
They're not making decisions.
Right.
yeah, I think that's a better word. All right, the next one, the city treasurer shall make weekly deposits to the town's designated bank. I mean, doesn't that
I don't know if
kind
we need that.
of fall under processing?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it does, yeah.
All right, the city treasurer shall assist the city manager and council in formulating and managing the city budget, including capital budgeting and grants. Do we want to leave that in?
It's just assist. I would think that's part of their job.
I would think so, yeah.
you think that
I
they,
would hope so. Well, I always had a city treasurer and clerk involved in our budget actions, because they can come up and say, well, what about such and such? You know, so it's just assist, is all that word says.
Yeah, it doesn't give them any authority, but it does outline that they have to be cooperating with those entities.
Yeah.
Although, isn't the mayor the one who is working with the city manager to formulate the budget and then they're presenting that to the city council? That's what we decided?
Yeah, but the mayor goes to all department heads, including city clerk, treasurer, so, I mean,
And the mayor is part of the city council.
yeah.
So I guess that does cover it. In formulating and managing the city budget, including capital budgeting and grants. Any problem with that language?
yeah, the formulating and managing, really, what do you want from the city treasurer? You really want to know how much money we have.
How much have you spent within each item in the budget, right?
That's right, they don't formulate and manage, I don't think.
They're not saying They're saying assist the city council in formulating. It means it's the city council's job, they just assist them.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way I read it.
So I'm very on board with the fact that they need to assist in the formulation of the city budget. Do they so much assist in the management of the city budget? And that's a real question, it's not rhetorical, I'm not sure.
Probably, just formulating would probably be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Formulating the city
That
budget.
takes care of any power
Okay,
assigned to it.
Do you want them preparing financial reports for the city council?
You betcha.
Do you want to spell that out?
Isn't it?
Well, it's just formulating and managing city budget, but it doesn't say that, I mean, the council certainly, no matter
Oh, it doesn't.
anything you miss in here, because now you're appointing, that means that the council can tell, this is what we expect from you, right? If it's not here, they can do that.
do we wanna make that as a separate clause, or do we wanna just kind of put it into this language? Shall prepare like reports or whatever, and assist the city manager in formulating the city budget, or,
Well, that's formulating the budget,
right?
but the city council may, at every council meeting, may want to know where their position is, so
So you want-
maybe prepare financial reports as requested by the city council.
That's in the city manager's job description, so,
So would it be assist the city manager in preparing
Yeah.
financial reports for the city council?
I think
The
so.
city manager can't do it
Right,
without.
yeah.
Right, but the city manager's gonna make sure that comes to the council, that's an
Yeah.
agenda. so.
I think he's creating the reports from the systems they have, so
Right,
it would be, presenting reports or preparing reports.
yeah,
So the
It's
city
supposed to
treasurer
assist.
shall,
Assist.
yeah, prepare the reports.
Just prepare.
shall prepare the reports, or shall assist in the preparation of reports?
Their office is handling the money,
Yeah.
they should be the preparation.
Shall
Right.
prepare.
City
fin-
manager could assist, but
Okay.
not other way.
The city treasurer shall prepare financial reports as requested by the city council. The city treasurer shall assist the city manager and city council in formulating the city budget. So those are two separate clauses,
Okay.
or
But-
sub-clauses, I
Yeah,
guess.
but if we're telling this, if we're saying that the city manager has to present financial reports, then it should be that they're preparing financial reports for the city manager,
For the city manager.
right? If that's what we're saying. If we're saying that
Right, you're right.
As
city
requested by
manager.
the city manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or council. I think.
Yeah, or council, yeah, I think,
Manager or city council. We'll just put them both in. That gives either the council or the city manager
Yeah.
the authority to request financial reports
Right.
from the treasurer. I do have to leave right now. So,
Okay.
either just anything that we do beyond this, if you do, just take a picture of it. Just take notes, take a picture, text it to me, and I'll update it, okay?
I think it's probably a good place for us to stop. Want me to try? Or do you want to take notes? Because I have all the note taker.
Yeah, well, I said all our notes are gonna vary, so, I'm good with stopping. So we're just gonna start with that, cooperate with the city auditor at the next,
Okay.
and have to do this. So is that in that working document?
It's all up
Does
to
everybody have access to the working
Yeah,
document?
and everybody feel free to go in, everything I did today is in green, and I just did
Okay.
it that way so Sharon and everybody could see, and if something I did was,
If it's messed up, it's
yeah, then you can
small.
yell at me and
Yeah.
not Sharon, yeah.
So what I've been doing, so I'm keeping the working draft, and when we do something like this, I just go in and print those pages and edit.
Okay,
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Charlie, can you call the meeting so I can
Yeah.
stop the recording?
Huh?
Can you call the meeting so I can
Yeah,
stop the recording?
motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay.
Did it turn off?
No.
No, not yet.
No,